Yeah, so hi guys, this is Shadow Girl Sherry. Guys, I'm happy right now that I'm about to go live right now, that I'm going live right now. This is Shadow Girl Sherry. Guys, I meant to deliver the live or the message that I'm gonna deliver tonight, last night, but it just didn't happen that way. I have a way that I'm gonna make it all make sense, and I'm going to tell you the way that I'm going to make it make sense here in just a little bit. But first off, I'm going to explain to you what this video is going to be about, what this live is going to be about, and basically what you're looking at right now. Um, okay, so guys, yesterday was the spring equinox, the very first day of spring. And oh, I'm just so excited to say that. I'm so excited to say that. It makes me want to like um take a deep breath in and exhale and just exhale out because oh, it just seems like winter always lasts for so long. And something that's kind of coming to my mind right now, and my channel Sunset Songs is all about my personal journey with the law of attraction, where even before I say what the law of attraction is, I'm going to say that the next thing that I'm about to say may sound a little bit negative, but I'm not trying to make it sound negative, right? Okay. Sometimes it kind of seems like the things in life that, I don't know, like it kind of seems like, and I'm trying to walk away from this idea, right? But sometimes it kind of seems like the things in life that are, that you really, really enjoy, or um, I don't know, the things you really, really enjoy and the things that really, really feel comfortable and you're really, really feeling, I don't know, like those things they don't seem to last long. Some of those things, it might seem like you have to work a little bit harder for those things that you really, like, you just find really comforting or you really enjoy. Like, okay, for example, um, when you're real young, and I'm not saying that I'm older or anything. I haven't even really revealed my my age. I haven't let you guys know my age or my birth date, or you don't even know what I look like because I go by the name Shadow Girl Sherry. And with that being said, you guys, I don't offer like a picture of what I look like. My avatar is basically my very own silhouette. Like that's really my silhouette. And I'm holding a flower in my hand, which is perfect for spring, right? It's perfect for spring. And you know what? I'll say this right now. When I first took it, just came to me when I took the picture for the avatar that I wanted to upload for like this particular avatar that I uploaded. I had something else before and I can't remember what it was, but this particular picture avatar of my very own silhouette, it just came to me. I took that picture right when summer was closing out. It may have been when summer was closing out, or just when it got to the point where um, it had finally gotten to the point where I knew that I was going to have to start, you know, doing my lives and making my videos, inside my house, because, or just, anywhere where I'm inside. I couldn't make my videos out on my porch. I couldn't make them on my back porch. I couldn't make them in anybody else's house outside. I couldn't make them in my car or anything like that because it got to the point where it was just too cold. So, and one of the things about when I first started my channel, um, I really had this kind of sense or idea that I wanted to make my videos. I really wanted to see how many videos I could actually make outside, whether it be like going on a walk, maybe if I was going on a walk in the park and, I'm talking as I'm walking, or if I was just somehow I wanted to be able, I was wanted to make a lot of my videos outside, even if it meant like in my car or whatever. I wanted to be out among the elements. I wanted to be out among the sun. I wanted to hear, you know, go outside maybe sometimes when the sun is about to rise, because my channel is called Sunset Songs. With a sunset, you have the sunrise. First, you have a sunrise with the sun, and then at night, you have the sunset. Okay, and my channel is called Sunset Songs. So I wanted to be out among that. The sunrise, the sunset. I wanted to be out among the birds and just, nature. I wanted to be out among nature. And sometimes when I would try to film, it wouldn't go the best because, oh, there would be mosquitoes and things like that. So, but anyhow, even at one point, guys, I even had basically I had my altar. I had it outside. I had it on my porch and I loved having it out there. But a friend of mine, my best friend had told me at one point, she's like, do you really want to do you really think that's a good idea for you to keep this something that is this personal and this sacred to you out on your porch? Because there's going to be different people that, anytime somebody visits, um, anybody, there's anytime somebody visits for whatever reason they come over or whatever, they're going to be passing by your altar. They're going to come with positive energy. And then, sometimes you never know, someone might come and just not be in the best spirits or be in the best mood. And here they're going to be passing by your altar. And not only that, do you want to have to explain to everybody? And I'll say this, I'm a bit in the closet about, well, you know that I go by the name Shadow Girl Sherry. Even another name I go by, like hashtag or whatever, is Sherry Shadow Closet. So that pretty much explains it. It's not that I'm ashamed of the lifestyle that I choose to live, but I don't want to have to keep explaining it to everyone. And it's not that I've said it several times on my channel that I believe in God. But there have been people, and I knew it from jump, that there would be people that everyday people that I know in everyday life, like certain family members, different things like that, people that I know in everyday life, if they were to find out that, I had a channel where I'm just kind of talking about things that are kind of witchy or things like that, then they would take it the wrong way. And I'll quickly say that when I say witchcraft, I'm saying, which way do you want to go? Do you choose to walk down a path where you are, you're getting up every day and you're thinking, what good could happen to me today? Like walking in like a direction where you're trying to think positive, or are you going in a direction where you wake up in the morning and you're waking up on the wrong side of the bed every day or every other day or whatever? We all have our experiences. But when I think about magic, I'm just trying to think about living a positive life and thinking positive things, the law of attraction, because the law of attraction is the idea of, okay, with your thoughts, your thinking, who you're hanging out with, all those different things, if you're sticking with the positive things, then you're attracting more positive back into your life. That's sticking to you. Like that old saying when we were kids, I'm rubber and you're glue. Like you want to have the positive around you. If you looked at yourself as glue, right? You want to be around, you only want the good things to stick to you. But then there is, duality and all that. And to tell you the truth, I'm going to be talking about a lot of that here in this video because I'm going to be talking about spring equinox. But guys, I'm talking, and I do that a lot. I am a Gemini. But basically where I was starting from was just the idea that this might be a little bit of a negative thought, because if you think about it, again, I'm one of those people where I really enjoy, like, I like summer, but I really enjoy spring, because, there's days in spring where it's just not too hot. It's not too cold. It's just right. And, you're getting out of that darkness of, and even though I call myself Shadow Girl Sherry, okay, you're getting out of that darkness and the cold and all that. And everything's coming back to life and unthawing. And, you feel the sunshine, you feel the warmth on your back and all that. It feels like a hug, really, when you first walk out into the spring equinox. Okay. Even though in my area, let's see, we had rain yesterday, but it was still beautiful. It was still beautiful. Just knowing it was here. But, the little bit of negative thought that I kind of wanted to say right now is, it kind of seems like in life that it kind of seems like to me, and again, I'm not trying to start this out on a negative note, definitely not this video, because I'm so excited to be able to bring it. to deliver this message. Okay. It seems like some of the things that we really enjoy, like just naturally enjoy, for whatever reason, it doesn't last long. Like the things that are more harsh, they last longer. And I could say that by, okay, again, when you think about the colder months, okay, like winter seems to last so long. And then spring and summer, it just it just doesn't seem to last as long, okay? It really doesn't. Winter just, it seems to drag on and drag on and drag on, and the snow and the wind and all that. And it's like, oh man, I feel like I'm about to get to be blown away here, or I'm about to turn into an ice cube, and I'm going to go frozen, right? But so that's one of the things in life that it seems like it drags on forever. And then like the warmer months just seem to go by real fast. Okay. And the other thing that I'm thinking of that doesn't, it seems to, you think it's going to last forever. And I remember older people telling me, like my grandmother, and not as much my mom, but your grandparents, things like that. Your grandparents, and older people. I remember them, older people around me when I was like when I was young, if they're like, if I would be like, okay, well, I can't wait till this happens, or man, I'm mad about this, or I'm sick of this, or and I'm just lost in like being upset about something, or it's like I'm rushing time because I want to hurry up and get to something. I want to hurry up and get a day of school over with or something. The thing was, they would say, you're rushing your life away. Don't rush your life away. Just enjoy it moment by moment. And maybe they didn't say enjoy it moment by moment, but you get what I'm saying. The idea is, what they would say is, don't rush your life away. Don't rush your life away. It's going to happen. When you get older, you're going to be wanting to go back to being a child again. And I can even think about, I don't know, just thinking about, I think a lot of us at certain, when we were young, you wanted to grow up, you wanted to be able to do what you wanted to do, but then they're like, you know what? Don't waste your life. Don't rush your life away. That's what it was. Don't rush your life away. You're going to grow up in time enough. So that's one of the things that I think of. And the other thing that I wanted to say, not only when I think about spring and things that you really enjoy, and the not lasting long. I mentioned how it seems like winter lasts so long. The winter months seem to drag on and drag on, the snow, the cold, the wind, all that. But the warmer months just, they seem to go by real fast. But another thing, I was just talking about like my grandparents and things like that, and how they used to say, don't rush your life away. Don't rush your life away. Was when, and that makes me even think about when you're a kid, and when you're a child. I won't say kid, some people don't like that, but when you're a child, I had somebody around me that hated when people would say a kid, because it sounds like a goat. But anyhow, but when you were a child, like when Christmas would come, like like Christmas Eve would come, and you wanted to hurry up and, man, I'm going to go to sleep because I want to wake up and it'll be Christmas. And I used to say that. I remember like me and like my siblings saying that. And then later on, like younger people that, have come along, been born or whatever, I've heard them say it. And you just think it's kind of rushing time away, right? But the other thing that comes in it, you think it's going to last forever, is youth. Okay. Youth. And there's the wonderful things about youth, and then there's the hard things. Like I won't even go into all that, because I don't want to make it seem like I'm some like old woman or anything, right? I don't want to make it seem that way. So guys, basically I'm just going to go ahead and jump into this. I think I've explained I've explained, like I've given you a little bit of a beginning message here, right? But I want to get into talking about spring. And I had a lot of fun coming up with the image that you're looking at right now. Obviously, I go by the name Shadow Girl Sherry. So basically, my idea here, what you're looking at, is day and night and like a marriage between the two. Um, I'm going to be reading from my notes and um, I'm going to be reading from my notes. So I'll be breaking down everything. But first off, I kind of want to tell you what you're looking at. Basically, since I go by the name Shadow Girl Sherry, I don't, you don't know what I look like. You only know, you see my silhouette and you follow the sound of my voice. Okay. But what I've recently, I decided that I wanted to find a way to kind of present myself in my videos, even though I still wanted to be mysterious and somewhat wear a mask. So I decided, it's been a couple of times recently and here tonight where I decided that I was going to have an image because I'm African American. I'm a black woman. I want to put like a AI, like, made up version or you know, a different type of avatar that's going to kind of show up for me. And I'm going to make it like a black woman, but obviously that's not me. Um, you know, Black women, we come in all different shades. So I'm not, gonna all different shades, right? So I'm gonna kind of play around with that here and there, and keep the mystique and be mysterious and all that, and that shadow girl kind of aspect. But with that, that's going to be my mask for a while because I'm going to decide at some point that I want to come out and you're going to know what I look like. Like I'll feel more comfortable about it, but I'm not there yet. So this is my new mask. This is the way that I'm doing it. Like the image you're looking, that's not me, but it is an African American woman, a black woman, okay? And there are going to be times that I'm going to want to make her look mysterious and like veiled and all that, right? There is a show that I want to get back into watching it. I don't think they've come up with their I don't think they're coming up with new versions of or episodes to this particular show right now, but the show is you know what? I'm going to be mysterious. I'm not, maybe I shouldn't, you know what? I will go ahead and say it. And I had to take a drink. I'm sorry, guys. I am long-winded and I'm a Gemini. But it was I kind of got the idea, like I had already been calling myself Shadow Girl Sherry and all that different stuff. But when I decided that I wanted to like have like an avatar or something like show up for me besides the one of my very own silhouette, I decided, I was thinking that I wanted to do it and still be mysterious when I do it. And there's a show that I was really enjoying watching. Okay, number one, I love the show Stranger Things, the series Stranger Things, but it's over with now. If you're going to watch Stranger Things, you're going to be watching like, like a rerun kind of. Okay, like you're going to have to go back and just watch it, but there's no more of them being made, right? There's no more episodes to it, okay, to the series. Man, was I upset when that ended. But anyhow, but another series that I got into for a while, like during the winter, and when it comes back, I can't wait till they start making more episodes or whatever to the series, is the Mayfair Witches. Anne Rice, I believe it is. Anne Rice's Mayfair Witches. And I really enjoyed that, okay? But they have this guy. Here's my cat coming in my, I gotta make sure she doesn't. My cat co-host Sasha. She's come in to join me, which only makes sense because she is my cat co-host. But sometimes she decides to join me, and then sometimes she's somewhere else in the house, like taking a nap or whatever, and I don't bother. It's just when she wants to join me, and tonight she's decided to do that. Okay, so I'm shutting the door back because she found her little way in, right? But anyhow, guys, I had to make sure everything was safe because I light a candle, and I've explained all that in my other videos. I don't want to use up any more time with that. Like it's a traveling altar, really. But guys, I'm not going to go into all that because I've got a lot of information to cover tonight, and I'm so excited about giving you guys this message. My thing is, I wish I could have delivered it yesterday. And another thing that I want to say about tonight is, I wish I could have wish I could have delivered this message last night on the actual day and night of the spring equinox. And now you hear her scratching. She's, you hear her. I'm not even going to say what she's doing right now. But anyhow, that's my cat, Sasha. But anyhow, got lost my train of thought here. Got to stay on that train of thought. Okay. What was I thinking of? Okay. I know that I was thinking about the Mayfair witches, right? So on the series Mayfair Witches, they have this guy, they call him Lasher. And you'd have to watch the show and you know what I'm talking about, the series. But they have this guy, this really attractive guy, I'll say. Really attractive guy named Lasher. And he's like, look, my cat is annoying me right now. She's going back out of the room. Gotta let her back out safely. Okay, you have to watch the show, but the series. But there's a guy on the Mayfair Witches, and he's kind of like a spirit that's tied to the Mayfair Witches, right? And he's tied. He's like a spirit. Kind of lost touch with the show, but I want to talk about it a little bit here on my channel once I, start getting back into it. But he's a bit of a spirit that, like, what's the word? He's a spirit spouse. And you can go ahead and look that up to see what it means, because I'm not really going to explain it. But he's a spirit spouse, and he is tied in with the Mayfair, the Mayfair women, okay, the witches. And oh, he's really attractive, especially when that series first starts. He's a Caucasian guy. He's got this real deep, mellow, dreamy voice. I'm going to be talking a little bit about Neptune here in this video, a little bit anyway. But the way his looks in the very beginning of the series, to me, describes a type of man that you would think of in a real dreamy sense, like the sound of his voice, everything. He just really, really dreamy. Like, they picked a good guy to play the part. And he just really dreamy looking. He just puts, again, if you know anything about the planet Neptune, you know it's dreamy. Like, it's dreamy, okay? And he just has this dreamy kind of way about him, like a fantasy, or I wouldn't say a fairy tale, but Mayfair Witches is a little bit like fantasy-like and gothic and fairy tale and fantasy and soap opera and all that weaved into one, right? But he's just very dreamy. His voice, the sound of his voice is so dreamy. His hair, it's real dark hair, kind of long, like a little bit, almost touching his shoulder. He's attractive man, okay? But at one point, he kind of leaves the spirit realm, and he is delivered into, you'd have to watch the series, but he's delivered out of the spirit realm, like brought down out of the spirit realm, and he's given life, like he's put into a human body. And oh, you have to watch it. But at one point he gets married, and he couldn't marry just any like regular woman. It had to be a woman that was on his level, because anybody else he would hurt. He would hurt them, because his energy was just too much for just any type of a woman. It couldn't be just any everyday woman. And when they had to pick a wife for him, and when they picked his wife, she was veiled. And guys, this is funny, because this is the year, we just came out of the year of the snake. I'm not even going to go into that. That was all about, 2025 being the year of the snake. And a snake is a symbol of change, because they leave how are they a symbol of change? Because they shed their skin. And when they shed their skin, I've said this so many times, when they shed their skin, they've changed into something new. They've left the old, what they don't need, behind. So they're moving on, right? Moving forward. Okay. So that was the year, that was the energy of 2025. It was all about shedding the old ways and shedding that skin and getting rid of the old and stepping into the new. Now we are in 2026 is the year of the fire horse, and we're definitely in it now, because we're in the spring equinox, right? Okay, so and all that, I think it really started to become, more in depth at the time during the eclipse season. The eclipse season, and of course we just had Mercury retrograde, and now Mercury's gone direct and all that. So we're definitely moving forward, right? And but the reason why I wanted to bring up the idea of the year of the fire horse, this 2026 is the year of the fire horse. The idea of the year of the fire horse, okay, I'm going to bring these two together right now. It just came to me. Okay, the wife that the woman that marries this guy Lasher in the Mayfair Witches, when she's basically picked for him. And when they meet each other, they don't know each other. They haven't dated. It wasn't anything like that. It was an arranged marriage, right? Because it couldn't be just an any day, every plain Jane woman. This had to be a woman that was like him, like on his level and his type, I'll say, okay? So the marriage is arranged and everything, and they meet each other. But even when they first meet each other, she looks like, okay, she arrives on a horse. They bring her in on a horse. And that makes me think of this year of the fire horse, right? She comes in on a horse, and she's set like out into a field. And I don't want to, I don't want to start talking about all of it because I don't want to say anything wrong, but she's out in a field on a horse, and she's just so mysterious looking. You can look at her, and you just think she's so mysterious, and it's like seductive, mysterious, all these different words like woven into one, right? She's just like this beautiful, dreamy woman, and she's on a horse. And the thing that makes her so dreamy, and okay, I'll say Neptune kind of energy, I'll say it again. She has a veil on. There's a veil that's like, I believe it may come down to her nose. I think you might see her lips, but I think it comes down to her nose, and her eyes are covered. But she's got this beautiful hair, and she's wearing this beautiful flowy like dress, and the dress is kind of like, you might put it at the point of being like a beautiful kind of somewhat gown. Like, it's beautiful. Okay, and she's out in, in these fields. It's beautiful the way they met, the arrangement or whatever. So I kind of took from that, and I thought about, okay, Shadow Girl Sherry, I want to remain mysterious, but I want to kind of present myself somewhat. I want to be a little teasy, and I want to present myself. And I always like the idea of, not necessarily that I want to be in a harem, but I like the way like the women in a harem would dress, or like I dream of Genie. I like Genie outfits. I always like that. I wanted to do that one year for Halloween, and I actually did that for a guy that I was seeing. I dressed up. I had ordered a outfit, and I remember that. I'd love to find the picture, but anyhow, I did that. Special. But anyhow, I wanted to take from that idea and the idea that I love, like the harem kind of idea and the dreamy kind of thing, and it makes me think just dreamy, like Neptune energy. If you know, you know. And I do have some Neptune placements in my birth chart, so I wanted to take from that idea and expand on it. And I was going to work that. I wanted to weave that into my kind of shadow girl persona, because now it's like, I'm a shadow, I'm a silhouette, but now I'm going to step out of that shadow and that silhouette. And there's going to be times where I'll kind of show, the face of, the woman, that I've picked as like the model that's showing up for me. Or like in this picture, you can see her face, but she's looking down. You can't see her eyes. And then there's going to be other times where she's going to be veiled. Okay. I just love that idea. So that's how I weave that in. But basically, guys, spring equinox is like a marriage between, I'll say, the masculine and the feminine. Like, they're coming together in like perfect harmony. So that's why I place myself like in the middle of this. Like, there's the side of me that's dark, like in the nighttime, and then like simultaneously, whatever, I'm standing in, it's like a parallel universe. I'm standing in the dark, but then there's one side of me that's standing in the light. And the left side is associated with the feminine, which is dark, Okay, that's where things grow. It's dark. Okay, because if you think about a woman when she's pregnant, nobody would even have to know that she's pregnant yet. That could be her own little secret until she starts to show. Okay, and even all the way up until that ninth month, and like when the baby is protected in, her womb, and this is darkness. It's darkness. It's, there's the water element, all that. So there's that moon energy, because the moon affects like the tides of the bodies of water, the sea, the oceans, all that. And at the same time, because we are made of 70% water, it affects our body of water. Like our bodies are made up of 70% water. So it affects us as well. So, just letting you know that. But then there is another side. There is that flip side, the duality. And that really goes along with my Shadow Girl Sherry persona. Like this really, it goes right along with it. And so you've got the right side of the left side of the brain corresponds with the feminine, and the right side of the brain the left side of the brain corresponds with the feminine, the moon like energy, the water energy. Okay. And then the right side of the brain corresponds with the male, the masculine. So the night is the feminine, the daytime, the sun is the masculine. Like it's the masculine, it's the sun energy. Like that's the part that works. And then that working energy, and then the feminine is the receiving. Okay. And when they come together in perfect harmony, you have creation. And that is really, and guys, the more I read through my notes, the more I go through the wheel of the year and all that, the different seasons, every time this kind of meeting comes up, it makes more sense to me. I'll find like different things as I'm looking through my notes and different things that makes it seem so much more like it makes sense. But it's not like I could explain this to just anybody that I would know. That's a part of one of the reasons why I came up with my channel, is because I wanted to reach out to people that would, I don't know, could look at things in a different way and not just think that everything's just the way you've always been told it is. Like, I'll just say that. But with that being said, I'm going to start jumping into my notes because I got a lot of them, right? And it's Saturday night. I don't know who's wanting to go to bed real early on a Saturday night or whatever, but anyhow, it is the weekend, whatever. But I hope I've explained that well. I'm going to be explaining more as I'm going through my notes, obviously, and it'll make more and more sense to you. And if you're into this stuff with the seasons, with the months, and the phases of the moon and all that, it's going to make more and more sense to you, because that's the way it's been for me. So anyhow, the way that I'm going to bring this together is like last night, guys. Yesterday, I was coming up with all my notes. It used to be harder for me, and I won't go into all of it, but yesterday I just had this feeling like, okay, I've been wanting to make, this is one of these videos where I've been pretty excited about wanting to deliver this message. Like I've been wanting for this time to come around so I can make this video, because there was something else that I wanted to say. Like this video is just, it's special to me. Okay. Because really Sunset Songs, this is really what Sunset Songs, it makes so much sense with this particular video. It even makes me think back, you know what, and I'll kind of save that because maybe I'll be to say it as I go down through my notes and whatever. Because I wanted to tell you a little bit about when we were going through COVID-19, and I'll quickly say this, okay? When COVID-19 was going on, and this is not to, I know that, COVID-19 was like a painful time. I didn't lose any family members, but it was a painful time. It was a lonely time, and I'll just focus on that lonely right now, because I don't want anybody to start thinking about like getting all depressed and going into that end of it and everything. But I'll just talk about like the loneliness of it. Okay. Okay. One of the ways that I comforted myself through COVID-19 was definitely through music. Okay. It was definitely through music. Okay. And what I would do, it was during COVID-19 that I came up with the idea to start a channel. Because it was in, it was that time of, it was a lonely time. And I realized that I'm like, wait a minute, I have a phone. And with my phone, I could set up a YouTube channel because and I still use my phone today. I can set up a YouTube channel, and that would be a way for me to reach out and talk about what I'm going through and kind of talk about spirituality and all that, because it was during that time that I got really deep into spirituality, and it was like my comforter, right? And what I did, one of the ways and one of the things I came up with the idea for my channel, and I also came up with the name of my channel during COVID-19. I came up with the name of my channel, Sunset Songs, during COVID-19, because there was one particular day, and this isn't the best, but I was out in my car. Love my car, guys. Love my car. Okay. I think we were at a point where it was still lockdown, but I think we could go outside, or maybe I went outside to my car, whatever. I don't think that was against the rules, but I'm not going back. I don't remember every little detail, but at one point I went out in my car, and I shouldn't have been doing this. I didn't know exactly what I was doing at the time. I'm lucky I didn't mess my car up. But what I found myself doing, I would go in my car and I would either play my radio, or I hate to say it, but in my car, I still even have a CD part. I have a part where you can actually play CDs. Now, I don't do that really. But during COVID, just things weren't the best. So I was just doing whatever I had to do to get by. And I would go out in my car to be off myself, away from family or whatever. And it was special for me to go in my car. And there were sometimes I didn't move my car, but I went out in my car, and I was listening to music in my car. That wasn't the best for my car, whatever. I didn't think of it at that point. I don't know, go figure. But anyhow, what I would do, I found myself, usually by the time I got all the things that I needed to get finished up in my house, and what I need, like different things that I needed to have finished, I found myself going out, okay, at sunset. Sunset is usually when I would go out. And that was the time where, I guess in the summer or the spring, a sunset was so beautiful. Okay. Sunset was such a beautiful time. And, the sky has got this kind of, it's sunset. So it's beautiful. And I would go out at that point at sunset, and I wasn't making my videos or anything, but I would go out there and I would think about, I've always loved music, but during that time, I think a lot of people were lonely at that time. And one of the ways that I comforted myself was I played music, and I just decided one of the things that I did was I played music that would be like, especially by different artists, like male artists. Like, okay, who are the people I listened to? I had some Marvin Gaye. I had Marvin Gaye's like, You Sure Loved a Ball. That was one of the songs I was listening to because it's so dreamy. I put it as like a Neptune-like song, really dreamy. Okay, let's see. Marvin Gaye's like, let's Get to This. Get to This, I think the song's called. It's another one that's really pretty. Get to This. Come Get to This, or something like that. Okay, so I listened to Marvin Gaye. I listened to like Hall and Oates. Different people like that. And they were male voices, and they're obviously dreamy, Neptune, like just dreamy voices, men that can sing. And they were usually love songs that I was listening to because I was lonely, and I was thinking about what it would be like what would I want in a partner? It's not like we could go out and try to date at that point, like what would I want in an partner? If I was with this person, what would they be saying to me? And it was the guys that were singing the songs that I picked the song, and I could pick whatever song I wanted to listen to. And that person that was singing the song would be delivering that message to me. So I'm like, okay, what would I want this? I'm looking in my mind and I'm thinking about what's the guy look like? Well, I could picture that in my mind because, that's what that's a really, you know, powerful thing when it comes to like the law of attraction, or even if you look at it as magic, is visualization, your imagination. I've always been good with that. So I had that like check. Okay. And being that I didn't have anybody to say it, I just listened to songs from different men that were singing the song. I could pick whatever song I wanted to pick. I could pick whatever artist I wanted to pick. I could pick whatever lyrics. I just had to think of the song, like what would I want this magic man or guy that I want, that I'm dreaming of, like, in my dreamy Neptune like thoughts, what would I want him to say to me? And I would have it as a song. So I'm sitting out in my car and I'm listening to these songs, like, again, music like Marvin Gaye, George Michael, these are just some of the names that I'm thinking of, right? And even at the same time, when I listen to female artists, I imagine like what I would say back to them. Like it was a conversation, but the conversation was going on through music. Like I'm thinking the thoughts in my mind, but I wasn't saying the thoughts. Like I'm like, if I could sing and I could sing to this guy that, whatever, who would I pick? Whose voice would I have? Who did I come up with? I came up with people like Tina Marie, the late great Tina Marie, Blue Eyed Soul. I picked people like Lisa Fisher, things like that, really dreamy type songs. And it was like a conversation going back through the radio. Okay, but it's a conversation, but I think you get what I'm saying. Like it was a period where you had to comfort yourself, and you had to make it through. What are you going to do? And I dove into spirituality, and that's how I came up with the name to my channel, Sunset Songs. I was in my car and I'm like, okay, I got to come up with a name for my channel. I haven't started my channel yet, but what am I going to call it? And then it came to me. I'm like, okay, I've been coming outside during COVID-19, and I have been coming out to my car to myself. And I always find myself coming out at sunset, like, or at least out like maybe an hour before sunset. So I'd be seeing these beautiful sunsets. And then it got to the point where there would be people, like, a couple people here and there I'd see like walking down the street, just walking, whatever. But it was a time where animals were even being set free. Like you heard about it, like animals didn't know what to do. But I just found myself at around about that time stepping out, and, it's particularly maybe about an hour or so before sunset. And I'd be out in my car or on my porch or whatever, and I would play music. And I always wanted to play music to where, okay, if it's a female, she's saying the things that, if I could sing, what would I sing back to this dreamy guy? Okay. And then the guy, or the conversation from the guy, what would I want for this? If I had this perfect guy, whatever, what would he be singing to? What would he be saying to me? But instead of saying it, I had people like Marvin Gaye, or I don't know, H-Town, or I don't know, just different people. I don't know, different people, male like voices that sound so nice and everything. They would be singing it, delivering the message through their lyrics and all that. So again, sunset, because I went out close to sunset, in songs, because I've always loved music, and it's like a communication. Like everybody at some point, you know, an artist can sing about things that people are feeling around at different points. Different people are feeling this feeling all around the world, just at different points, though, different times. So I'm like, music is magical, and obviously you can make you feel some type of way. So I came up with it, Sunset Songs. And even on YouTube, there are multiple channels that go by Sunset Songs, but when I came up with that name, I'm like, no, this is perfect. Sunset Songs. These songs comforted me during COVID-19 and kept me warm, So that's how I came up with my name to my channel, Sunset Songs. So, but guys, basically, this is going to be about spring equinox, and really, COVID-19, even when we really started going into lockdown it was around about this time. I looked up the different dates as to what was going on, when it was officially like known as like a pandemic, right? Um, it was like March, it was in March of 2020, or was it 2020? Well, it was March, because we had COVID-19, but I think it really got to that point in March of 2020. I don't think it was 2019, but it was COVID-19. But I think that's because it started in um in 2019, 2019. But then I think we got to that depth, and it's like, okay, epidemic. If I'm not mistaken, it was in 2020, but I definitely know that it was March. It was March. So right now, today is March the 21st. So we were getting ready to go into spring. So, and I had some of the dates pulled up on my phone, but I'm like, I can't, it's going to take more time for me to add all that into my notes. So I didn't do that. So anyhow, I wanted to share that with you guys. And being that I wanted to go live last night, it didn't quite work out. What happened was, my technology, even though Mercury has gone direct, my technology had messed up, and I had taken all these notes and I couldn't find the notes. Like I put some work into it like I always do, but I got it together fairly quick, but I was happy with what I had come up with. And then I got kind of sidetracked by something that, had to be taken care of. And here I'm like, oh my goodness, now all my information, like some of the information is still here, but then half of it, the really good stuff, the really good points that I wanted to make, it's not here. So anyhow, so with that being said, I couldn't go live last night. All right. So I decided, okay, it's spring equinox, it just showed up, it just happened, we're still in the energy of spring. People are still going to be talking about spring. We're still excited about spring. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow night, okay? And I'm going to try to see if I can find the information that I lost. And it just so happened that today I found all the information. It's a little bit jumbled, but I'm just going to be going through it and trying to put the puzzle pieces together as best way as I know how, as I can, the way Shadow Girl Sherry does it. And I hope everybody's going to enjoy the video. But the way that I wanted to come back and introduce the idea, especially since I didn't get to do it on the night and day of the fact. Okay. Yesterday was spring equinox. Okay. That was the very start of it, right? I didn't get to do it the day, the day of the fact. And I wasn't saying that I wanted to do it at the exact moment, but I wanted to do it the day and like the night when that was equal, on that day, that night, all that, when it was in perfect balance. It didn't work out that way. It wasn't my fault. But the way that I wanted to come back and share it is because basically, guys, the way I'm going to lay it out to you, and if you are really into, maybe I could say the law of attraction, or maybe if you consider yourself into a little bit of, I'll say magic, really, life can be magical, right? It's all in the way you look at it. One of the first things that I think this may have been before COVID-19. When this was going down, it was before COVID-19, because I remember, I've said a lot here on my channel that I really started getting deep. Really, I've always had like a interest in like tarot cards and kind of witchy things, witchy movies, ever since I was a teenager, right? Ever since I was a teenager. Okay. I've had that interest in it, right? But but the information wasn't as like prevalent. Like you couldn't get the information that you can get today, like just like that. Okay. And so that was that. But then my mom got sick, and I've said that a lot, that I got deep into spirituality and the law of attraction and all that with her illness. Like when she was sick, she was doing different things when she was sick. Like at night, she had to be put on something in order for her to make it through the night. She couldn't just go to sleep. She had to be put on like nutrition to make it through the night that would give her nutrients and things like that throughout the night. Okay. And while she would be getting herself, together like that, whatever, it was like a nighttime ritual. She would be doing that in order. I remember her saying, okay, I'm tired. I want to take a nap. And before, I know you're going to be up because I had different things that I was working on. And she's like, I'm going to take a nap. Now you wake me up at such and such a time. And then that's when I'll get on, the thing that she had to get on. Okay. So I would be doing my thing and whatever. And when I would wake her up, she would go ahead and do what she had to do. And then, when she needed help, like I would help her and stuff like that. But she knew what was up. So she would be doing that. And then I would be working on different stuff. And I just remember that one of the things that comforted me is that I really got to get deep into spirituality and the law of attraction. And I looked at her life and I thought about how my mom died young. She died in her 50s, her mid 50s. And it was just, to me, it was so unfair because my mom was the type where, she was a good woman, but she didn't live an easy life. Like, she got sick in like the last 10 years of her life. She was very, very sick, in and out of the hospital and whatnot. And it was special though, because these were my last moments, with her, last years with her. But basically, through all that, even though I'd always had like a fondness for, witchy things and all that, and I always wanted to get into the law of attraction, that's when it was during that time that I officially got my first book, and that was The Secret. And I think that's where a lot of people probably started, like with The Secret by Rhonda Bynes or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but I think that's probably a place where a lot of people start, is the book The Secret, explaining like the law of attraction. Another one is, I think it's called maybe The Law of Attraction by Abraham Hicks. Okay. I got that one, beautiful stuff in there, but anyhow, you get what I'm saying. But but it was during that time in her illness and all that I needed something to comfort me and to make sense of everything, and I got deep into the law of attraction. Okay. And one of the things that I did like something, and I actually had results. And I'm like, oh, I've got to keep doing this, because if this can happen, then what else can happen? What else can I make happen by being positive? Like, if just by being positive. Okay. But one thing, there was a guy, now I don't remember what this creator's name was or the name of the channel or anything, and I so regret it. I forgot about all that stuff and didn't have notes on everything about it and who the guy's, like what his name was and everything, because see, my mom died. And with that, I fell into this really deep, dark depression, right? Okay. But, I'll never forget, there was a creator, and I wish I could find his channel because he had good videos, but I lost it all. Like a crazy time, right? It wasn't a good time, obviously. But like, once my mom passed, like, I stepped out of it for a little bit. I didn't have any direction at all. And it was like spirituality and the law of attraction. I got into that, and it got me back into life. It's like, she would want me to live my life, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to light these candles, and I'm going to find my way back. And that's what I did. Okay. But basically, there was a creator, and it was a guy. There were different people I was following, but this guy explained magic like this. The way that he broke it down very, very easily, what actual magic really is. And this stuck with me. He explained that what magic really is, basically, just breaking it down, magic basically is mind sex. It's mind sex, okay? And how can I explain that? Mind sex means, okay, and they even talk about sex magic, like there is like sex magic things that you can do, like with a partner or even by yourself. Okay, I'm not going to go into all that and talk about anything like, at least not yet. Maybe if I get to the point where that's other story, members and all that kind of thing, then, break down more things like that. But for now, I'm going to keep it like this. Okay. And then I'm going to be talking about this spring equinox, because it all ties in together. He basically explained that, okay, magic really is mind sex. It's sex in the mind. How is that so? Okay. What you're looking at right now, this avatar or image of this woman, she's got a line that's going down straight down through her body. But if you look at her head, that's really what I'm thinking about, really, because that's the mind. Okay. That is the male aspects, like the masculine part of the mind, and then there is the masculine and the feminine. And basically, when those two parts of the brain or the mind are synchronized, like they're working together in harmony, that's when the magic is going to start. And there was something, there was a guy, he passed away, Bob Proctor was another one. He really, wow, like he brought me back from like some depressed states, right? And I can't tell you exactly everything that, go into it or whatever, but I had this set up to where he had told me, different things like the number 3 and how manifestation, how it happens, and just the magic of the number 3, and the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, and that whatever. And at one point I even had like a child's like it was like a triangle, like a part that you would fit in like to like a puzzle, right? And it was just a it was a three-dimensional puzzle piece, right? And it was yellow like the sun. And it was three-dimensional. It stood up and it was a triangle. Okay. It even makes you think, might make you think about a symbol. And I meant to say that in one of my last, like the last video I made, because the sunset song at that point was the Midas Touch. And in that video, there is a young man that he plays a symbol. I think it's called the symbol. And it's a triangle, like it's the shape of a triangle, or maybe it's a symbol. I don't know, but it's a triangle shape and it's gold. And, you hit it like it's kind of like a bell sound. But I got what was being said there, because, it's that shape of the number 3. And that's, you think about creation, okay? The Father, the Son, the Blessed Holy Spirit, whatever way you want to look at it, the Father, Son, the Blessed Holy Spirit. Hey, creation, come on now. All right. But it's all about the way you look at it. But I don't want to mix that in together with this whole idea of, because people get the wrong idea when I say like mind sex, really. But that's the way this creator explained it, and it broke it down, because basically, okay, you have to make your is it the subconscious or the conscious mind? But yes, that's what it is. It's the conscious, the conscious part of your brain, of your mind. I'll say your mind. Okay. Synchronize, or basically penetrate. Hear me out. You've got to make that masculine, which the masculine part of the brain or the mind is that the masculine part is the conscious. That's the working part. Okay. You've got to, and that's the masculine. Now hear me out. You've got to make that part of your like mind, or I don't know if I want to say mind or brain or whatever, but you want them to work together in harmony. But it's kind of like sex, because you want mind sex, because you want that masculine conscious mind to penetrate the subconscious feminine mind. And I remember working from that angle, and it made sense. And I remember Bob Proctor would say, okay, one thing that you can do is you can do the things that you do right before you go to bed. Very, very magical. Whatever you do right before you go to bed, even like if you listen to a guided meditations during the night, your subconscious mind will take anything you feed it. You can feed it whatever. And that's even like during the day, like you don't even know how much you're drinking in without even knowing it. Like you're going around, it's your environment, what you look at every day, who you're hanging out with, the things you're looking at, all of it's going over into your thoughts. And that's why, into your subconscious mind. And that's why things will show up in your dreams. And, but it really will, you can train it, and it will drink in whatever you feed it. And that's one thing that I've got to learn. I've got to get better with that. Because one thing about me is I'm a Gemini, and that's Gemini's too. And that's the energy of Two, um, it's even in the tarot card that corresponds with Gemini, and that's the Lover's tarot card. It's mind sex. It's the Garden of Eden. That's the tarot card. The Lovers is basically the Garden of Eden, and that's pretty much what it's about. Because Gemini is about the mind, and it's about if you can make your mind settle. Like I'm always having a million thoughts, and it's just like ADHD. But if you could learn to think straight and just have repetition and focus, and you bring that together, and then Gemini is said to be a very, very powerful zodiac sign because of that. Like it's balance. It's about balance, and when the two aren't balanced, you don't. Then that's you get what I'm saying. But basically, this creator explained it that way, and it makes so much sense. And it's really going to make sense as I go through these notes. And I'm wondering, again, I've talked a lot, so let me jump into this. But it will come in, it'll make more and more sense to you as I go through these notes and lay it down that way. And guys, I really regret that this isn't going to be the one time. This is one of the one times where I've said it before that I have wanted to be able to sync, and it makes sense, sync my TikTok channel like over with my YouTube. And basically, whenever I go live on TikTok, I want to get to the point where whenever I go live on TikTok, I'm streaming live on YouTube as well. I just haven't got it set up that way because I really feel like when I do that, I had someone tell me that, you know what, you need to start going live so you can, make a connection with your audience. And finally I had the nerve to do it, whatever. Got over stage fright, and I did that. And I've explained that before. I did it during the Lionsgates portal, and now I love it. But I just, at that point, I'm like, how do I go live? And I found out that you could go live, and, and they had made it a little bit easier. And I said, I'm doing it. Great. I found out about it. I'm doing it. So now I can't wait till I figure out how, because I know you can do it. I can't wait till I can go join my TikTok. And while I'm going live on TikTok, I'll be going live on YouTube. And if I could, I would love to be going live on multiple channels, right? Multiple platforms at one time. But it's one day and one step at a time, right? So anyhow, I'm going to work into this, and you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about when I've said this stuff about mind sex, okay? This spring equinox, anytime you have a spring equinox, you have your summer solstice, winter solstice, fall equinox, whatever. It's perfect balance. And this is when you can really explain it. It'll really make sense to you if you open your mind and listen to it, and not think, oh well, that's evil or whatever. Because I'm telling you, at one point when I had the time to really focus, I had a point where I was being given a good amount of, like, I'll say sacred time and sacred space, where I had, definitely the people, or I'll say the person that was around me at that point would let me get to the point where it's like, okay, at this time of day, you can have this time to yourself. And I would take that time and I would really use it as sacred time and sacred space. And when I did that, there were little things that I would do. I started small, but I mean, within like weeks, what I asked for, I had. But the thing about it is, you've got to learn to control your thoughts in your mind, in your environment, and like who you are letting make suggestions. And when you're around people, are you going to believe them, or are you going to stick to what you know? Or because think about it, when the people that you're around or what you listen to, somebody could say, you could be around somebody and they could say something and you were thinking about something else, but then they come along and say something, and now they've ruined your mood or lowered your frequency, because now you're thinking about what they just said. And it's like, okay, well, now I've lost my steady train track of my thought. And I'm one of those people where I get sidetracked easily. I'm a Gemini. And and it's just like, man, when I had that sacred time and sacred space where I could really dedicate it, things were just kind of flowing. But the thing about it is I've got to get back to that, and I've got to learn to, where are you going to put your thoughts? Where are you going to put your energy? Where are you going to put your focus? Okay. So anyhow, so I'm going to read some notes. I probably won't even finish all this tonight, but guys, the thing about this is, spring has just sprung. So it's not like I can't come back and break this down another time, put up another picture, and there we go. Because spring just sprung, and I'm so happy about it. But one thing I want to say, that the way that I wanted to come back and explain that to you guys and say, hey, let me back in and let me continue. Let me go ahead and talk about the spring equinox, even though it's not happening on this day. Like, today we didn't have equal parts day and equal parts night. With that masculine and feminine, they're still working together, but not in the way that they were yesterday. Like, yesterday they were actually getting down, right? if you want to look at it that way. So, but the way that I wanted to explain it and be able to sneak my way back in with you guys is by saying this, okay? Yesterday, I wanted to deliver the message, but it didn't work out that way. For whatever reason, I didn't get to deliver the message, and okay, didn't get to do it. But this is the way that I'm going to bring it back, because I'm like, okay, I'm going to say it like this, okay, and kind of make my viewers or whatever kind of laugh, okay? It's kind of like if you, okay, see, I go by the name Shadow Girl, and it's so said that shadow work, because I found out that I called myself Shadow Girl Sherry even before I knew what shadow work was. And then I've said it before, like, different videos about shadow work kept popping up in my algorithm. I look at a couple of the videos and I'm like, okay, this is why I'm calling myself Shadow Girl Sherry. It needs to be acknowledged and confronted and worked with. Okay. So Shadow Girl Sherry, shadow work. So, okay, I'm thinking about, like, and this did not happen for me. It never happened, because my parents weren't, from a very young age, my parents had already separated, and everybody's with somebody else, whatever, but they had already separated. So I'm not going to, I didn't get traumatized this way, but I had a friend tell me this one time, and I've heard other people say it, like on TV shows or whatever. But can you imagine? I just described magic, or whatever. Magic is kind of like mind sex. That's basically what it is. The masculine part of the brain or whatever is, when it penetrates the subconscious, which is the feminine, that's the receptive, like it's taking it in, it's going to deliver. Okay. The male is the work, the putting in, you know what I mean? And then the woman is the feminine side of the mind is receiving it. That's the conscious mind penetrating the subconscious. And then that's when you have the magic. That's when you have birth. It's going to be delivered. Okay. That's basically what sex is, or what, not sex, what magic is said to be. It's literally, it's mind sex. The conscious mind has penetrated the subconscious mind, and they've become one. And that's when your manifestation is delivered. Okay. It's delivered into the 3D, onto this earthly plane, and you're looking at it and you got it. That's it. It can be that easy. Okay. I'm not saying that there's not things you do have to put in work for, obviously, but these two working together is a pretty good thing, because you think about it, it's also about being in harmony and positive thoughts. It's not going to help you to think negative anyway. It doesn't help you. So anyhow, with that being said, I wanted to take it in. This is the way I was going to bring it back, okay? And make you guys kind of laugh at the same time. Okay, now, if the universe was basically doing its thing yesterday, like having sex, really, okay? It's kind of like if you were, like, at a young age or whatever, or, you could have been like a young child. I don't want to put it that way, because it's kind of like if you walked in on your parents doing the business, the thing, if you were too young, you could walk in and you would think, well, mommy's hurting daddy. Okay. Or dad. Oh, wow. That's funny, isn't it? Daddy is hurting mommy. Like, why is mommy making those sounds? Daddy's hurting mommy. Don't hurt, you get what I'm saying? Then the older you get, if you were to walk in, it would be traumatic. It wouldn't be the same type of traumatic, but it would be like, oh my God, what did I just see? Like, I can't unsee that. Like, that was traumatic. That was terrible to see. Like, if you're of age and, you know what's going on and you walk in on your parents, it's like, ew, God, like that I can't unsee that, but I want to. Like, I want to get that out of my mind. So basically, I'm going to say that that's the way I'm going to break it down because the universe was doing its thing. The masculine and the feminine were together in union. This is equal parts day and night, like 50-50. So they've come together in harmony. And the more I read it, you're going to know what I'm talking about as I go down through this. It's going to make so much sense. And every time this kind of spring equinox or summer solstice or fall equinox or winter solstice comes around, out there'll be literature, there'll be different things, different channels or information that I'll read up on or whatever, and it makes more and more sense as to what I'm saying. It just explains itself time and time again. The deeper I get into it, just like the phases of the moon. It's like I didn't see that the last time, but now it's kind of like watching a movie. You've watched this one movie a million times, but this is the first time you notice this in the movie. Like, how many times have I watched this movie and I never noticed that part? So that's basically the idea. But the way that I'm going to make you laugh and kind of break it down and say, okay, I'm going to come back and deliver this message late is because I'm going to say that the universe, the feminine, the masculine, they were together doing the thing and making it happen, whatever. And we don't want to disturb them because this don't happen all the time. It only happens 4 times a year for the universe. You get what I'm saying? When it's in perfect harmony like this, 4 times, right? So we don't want to mess things up here. So we don't want to interrupt them. This was their private romantic space. Okay. So but today I'm gonna break it down. I've got a sunset song, and if I don't get to deliver all the message tonight, spring just sprung. So I can keep bringing it to you, and I'm promising you guys that to me this is going to be the more interesting this is going to be one of my more interesting lives. So it's like a regret of mine. Like I tried to make it happen where I wanted to go while I was going live here on TikTok. I wanted this to be the time where I'd be going live on YouTube as well, because to me this is going to be one of my more interesting videos or lives. Now, I don't know how everybody's going to feel about that, whether anybody, I don't know how many people have joined or anything like that. But at the same time, I know that I'm going to deliver the message. And then if some people have to come back and watch it later or however way it goes, that's just the way it's going to go down because, I like this to hear the sound of my voice. And I like all the information that I have come up with. So here we go. Okay, so basically, guys, maybe going through my notes now. We are making there was a bit of a powerful transition because, guys, I think it may have been Wednesday. We had a new moon. Now, don't mark me. It could have been Thursday, but I really think it was Wednesday when we had the new moon in Pisces. And Pisces is a very, it's a water element. Pisces is water. It aligns with, it corresponds with the planet Neptune. And Neptune is all about dreams and more. It's so dreamy. I have a placement in my birth chart that aligns with Neptune. And it's right on. Like, this part of my life, I've always seen it in a very dreamy manner. Okay. And sometimes with Neptune, it can make things a little bit too dreamy. Like, it can make it to where it's like an illusion. It's like a delusion. I don't want to say a delusion, but I'll say illusion. It's an illusion. And it even makes me think about like really extending that moon energy, because the moon can be deceptive. The moon, even the moon tarot card, there's water in the Moon Tarot card. But the Moon Tarot card can be about uh, illusions, like hidden secrets, things that you're just not aware of. Um, but when it comes to Neptune, very, very dreamy, and that could be a good thing, but you can't stay out in the water for too long, because if you're out into like a water, say you're out in an ocean or something, there's got to be a time where you've got to come back to land. You can't be on island time forever, because to tell you the truth, if you were on a beach like all the time, like island time, there was some show that had an episode where they were talking about island time, and it got to the point where this person really just they're on this island for too long, and it's just they lost themselves. And I'm trying to remember, I can't remember what show it was, but they just lost themselves. It's like, oh man, you're really letting yourself go. It could get to that point. Or you could just, your mind could get lazy because you're not keeping up with things. It's like you got to get back to land at some point, and you got to get back to land, because it wouldn't be as special. It wouldn't be it wouldn't be as special if you had it all the time. Like going to the beach, it's great, but I even had a friend tell me one time, just said that going to the beach all the time, like if you were there it wouldn't be the same. And it's just sitting all day and all night, just sitting by the water. Okay, you got to get up and do something. You got to come back to land and do something. And it's like the mind would get lazy and floating, and you get what I'm saying. So, but we had a new moon that fell under the sign of Pisces. Okay, lots of water energy there, but it's a strong sign too. Erykah Badu is a double Pisces, so that means that when she was born, the sun was a moon. So that the sun and moon, yeah, they were together. Erykah Badu, when she was born, the sun was in Pisces and the moon was in Pisces. So she's a double Pisces. And, it says that people often say that, Erykah Badu, like she's a witch. Like she was in, was it the Blues Brothers? I think 2000, where I think she was like reading tarot cards, and wow, did they have her made up? Like Erykah Badu was beautiful in that movie, right? But she was owning her part, and if you've heard about Erykah Badu, it's just like Erykah Badu is, yeah. So anyhow, but she's a double Pisces. So, but anyhow, that's strong energy, very, very powerful. To have both of your sun sign and your moon sign in Pisces, or anything. If I was like a double Gemini, oh man, that would be a lot of crazy energy. Like that would be, oh my goodness, that would be like, oh my God. I wouldn't want to think about being a double Gemini. That'd be like having two sets of twins running around in a room at the same time, but the room is your mind. So anyhow, so here we go. So just told you a little bit about that. The fact that we just came out of Mercury retrograde. Mercury now has gone direct, and that makes sense because now at that point, let's see, the moon and the sun met up. Like that energy was equal, okay? And you think about it, then we had Mercury going direct, and Mercury is the planet of communication. So obviously the sun and the moon then came together, and they then talked a little bit, and they then decided, well, let's go and get together. What time do you want to meet up? We're going to meet up at this time, and this is what we're doing. And there we go. So guys, this was said, when this goes down, it's so said that the thoughts that you are thinking, think positive. Really shoot for your goals. Like this is a good time to be planting new seeds, like, right? Okay, think about it. The masculine and the feminine come together in harmony. Now, what do? They make things. Okay, and if this were, you talk about two humans, a masculine, a female, a man and a woman coming together in perfect harmony, you have a baby. Okay, so that's the idea. And think about it: a male has a sperm, a female has an egg. So basically, and then think about this time of year. Right now, we're getting ready to go into Easter, and you think about eggs. There are there's going to be Easter eggs out. Okay, so there's eggs. Eggs stand for, that's also, a woman, has eggs. Okay, and then the male has sperm. But think about it, and then you think about bunnies. Bunnies are very, very, rabbits, bunnies, whatever, very, very fertile. Okay, very, very fertile. Okay, so anyhow, you know what I'm saying? Planting those seeds, and seeds, men, seeds, masculine energy. Okay, so anyhow, so here we go. So we are moving from the closure of that, now the Pisces new moon, straight into the spring equinox. Okay, and this is like perfect manifestation, where manifestation basically, it breaks through the soil. Okay, that's the kind of manifestation we're talking about, breaking through the soil. Okay, so gonna to keep kind of going through my notes and bringing it to you the way it comes to me. Okay, so the equinox is spiritual meaning, the great balance. Okay, the equinox is the moment of, I think it's Astera, and I should know that by now, but I think I pronounced it right. Day and night are equally equal. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of put a shadow girl, kind of add shadow girl Sherry kind of angle on this. It's the one day of the year where the shadow and the light, and hey, I know about it because I'm Shadow Girl Sherry. All right. The shadow girl angle. Okay. It's the one day of the year where the shadow and light are in a perfect 50-50 dance. Okay. You aren't choosing one over the other. You are the bridge between both. And look at the image that I have for you. She's a bit of a bridge. Like, these two sides. Think about the masculine mind and the feminine, like the subconscious part of the mind, and the male part of the mind penetrating, which is the conscious, penetrating the subconscious, that watery part of the female. And think about women, wet. Just think about it. Now, come on now, just make it make sense. Okay, and why does that happen? Well, you're looking at this hot man. Okay, the man's hot, so what's going to happen to you? Got to cool him off some, but you know what I mean, the water. So wetness. Okay, but you get what I'm saying, like, not being stupid or anything, but when you break it down and you really look into it, it reads like a romance novel in its own way, kind of, or I don't know, maybe a little bit more charged up than a romance novel. Okay, you get what I'm saying, but okay, but imagine yourself being the bridge between both. Like, again, I have a line coming down in between both parts coming together. Okay, in harmony, and that's when you have manifestation. Okay, this is a great time to start working with it. And yesterday, of course, was perfect, but we're still dealing with that energy. Okay, the frequency. It's the 0 point, a perfect time to plant the seeds of what you want to harvest by the autumn equinox. And I could even say, by, summer, we're building up, but definitely by autumn. Okay, autumn equinox. Okay, all right. The awakening. Okay, I'm not going to go too much into this. The witchy symbolism, the green man and the hair. I think I'm just going to kind of run through that. Okay, because I'm still learning about the whole idea of the green man and all that when it comes to Beltane. Although I like to, when Beltane comes around, I think Beltane is like May the 1st, May Day. Okay, I like to kind of celebrate it, but it seems kind of, I don't know, out there to me, but at the same time, it's about like the green energy. That's like nature. Okay, there's the green man and whatever, but it's basically explaining nature. Nature is at its peak and it's hot. Like it's hot. Like, you get what I'm saying? Okay. So the awakening. This is the green man, the spirit of the forest. Okay, wakes up. Okay, and guys, I had talked a little bit in my last video about, okay, it was the last two videos that I made was about St. Patrick's Day. So I can kind of blend that idea of green, take that idea from there and blend it into this idea of the green man theme going on, okay? Because when it comes to St. Patrick's Day, obviously we're told to wear green. Now I'm going to quickly say I found out the other day with my research why with the whole folklore behind wearing green is on St. Patrick's Day. The whole idea of wearing St. Patrick's Day is wearing green on St. Patrick's Day is the idea that, okay, spring is basically here. Like spring is coming alive. Everything, you know, you've got the green grass. You could even think about the green, like shamrocks and things like that. Green's out there and available. The idea is you also hear about leprechauns. Now, think about a leprechaun is said to be like a real old spirit, like a old, like little tricksters, like running around like little fairy, kinda. And this little trickster likes to play games and tickle and fun, you know, kind of fun. But then there's been, you know, ideas of it being like a dark energy as well, you know, because anyhow. But because there were movies, you know, the Leprechaun with like Ice-T and different things, or, you know, they made it into like a little bit scary stuff, right? But okay, I just want you to think about like this tricky kind of space to it, right? So here's the idea is you want to wear green because you're going to blend in. You're going to be camouflaged and blend in with the universe, like the earthly plane. Like everything is coming to life right now. It's green. So there's green plants, and we don't have a lot of color right now because the flowers are just waking up too. Like a lot of flowers right now seem to be yellow. Obviously that goes along with spring. We've got daffodils, forsythias, I think they're called. Those are, you know, prominent right now. I've noticed some purple flowers. That makes sense to me because they're the color of the crown chakra. You think about the divine, royalty, all these things, right? But I don't know, you get what I'm saying. But everything's coming to life right now, and there's a lot of green. Like whereas before in the winter it was cold, everything's frozen. You know, we didn't have all that. So now there's this lush, beautiful energy that's coming back, right? You know, you go outside, there's the beautiful green grass, right? And the idea is if you wear green, you're going to blend in with that earthy heart chakra energy. You're blending in with it. So the thing about the leprechauns is it said that you'll be invisible to them. If you wear it, you know, just wear green, but obviously the more green you wear, the more invisible to them you're going to be because they're running around, you know, in the grass and green and stuff like that. And then if you're wearing green, they can't see you because you're camouflaged. You blend in with everything. So you're not going to get pinched. But if you're not wearing green, they can see you. So that goes good with my Shadow Girl Sherry aspect because, you know, my thing is you don't see me. You don't know what I look like. I'm in the shadows. So basically these little, you know, fairies, you don't see them, you know, we don't see them, but you know, but you get what I'm saying. The folklore, they're said to be little fairies, like kind of like fairy, like little guys, and they're old or whatever, and they're little and they're running around, and they're in among the green and everything. And if you can't see them, so if you can't see them, then why do you want them to see you? Okay, if you can't see them, and that kind of fits with me because I'm like, I don't know, if you can't see them, okay, you can't see them, okay, why do they need to see you? That's not fair. So I don't know. You get what I'm saying, but just imagine that. I think it's kind of funny when I found that out. I'm like, oh, that's cute. Like you won't be seen. It's invisibility. It's invisibility. You are invisible to them. They can't see you because you blend in with everything. So they can't pinch you because they don't see you. But if you are wearing other colors besides green, then you stand out to them so they can find you and they're going to pinch you. So that's the whole idea of, if you wear any other color, it got started that way, that, obviously other people can come over and pinch you. And I remember being in school where the teachers would be like, no, don't go and pinch people today. It's not funny. And of course, we would do it, but the idea was you didn't want to pinch too hard because a pinch hurts. So it can hurt, you get what I'm saying. Like, they just didn't want to have that problem. Okay, so here we go. So I've explained that invisibility green theme. Okay, and it said, I had put it in my video for St. Patrick's Day, that when you were wearing that green on St. Patrick's Day, you unknowingly were vibrating at the frequency of the heart chakra, because the heart chakra is green in color. And it's, it's an earthy, loving energy, right? The earth is loving and giving, and it's abundant, and it's so said that when you are aligned with all that, things are going to come to you. Like, things are going to be just delivered to you. It seem like things are just naturally going to come to you. Okay. So I'll leave it there, and think about money. Think about money. Okay. Money, money, money. And, the last sunset song that I had was, the Midas Touch by the group Midnight Stars. 80s song, 80s song. And it's the Midas Touch. It's just about, gold. Whatever I touch, it turns to gold. So, and obviously gold is a part of St. Patrick's Day with the coins and the gold at the end, the gold pot, like filled with the gold at the end of the rainbow. All right. The pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And if you want to watch that video, it wouldn't have to be about St. Patrick's Day. You could watch it if you want to learn a little bit about your chakras, because basically your chakras, I tied it into that because St. Patrick's Day talks about rainbows. So rainbows go right along with the chakras, and I lined it all up. So you don't have to wait for St. Patty's Day to be here to watch that particular video, the last video that I made. Okay. So anyhow, gonna keep reading. The awakening. This is when the green man, the spirit of the force, wakes up. And basically it tied into that whole idea of the invisibility of green, the theme that I covered the other day. Okay. So, you aren't just wearing green. You weren't just wearing green. You were, in turn, like, unknowingly, until I told you, Shadow Girl Sherry, that you were vibrating at the frequency of the earth. Waking up, you were vibrating with it. Okay. And that's awesome. That's the message that I wanted to deliver, part of the message anyway, because that's the main chakra that I focus in on, especially was the green. I talked about all of them, but I really wanted to focus in on that. Okay. But I don't want to go, I told you a little bit about the green. I've mentioned the idea of the egg, because obviously when it comes to spring and all that, we're going to be having Easter and all that. And you might think about a golden egg, because I talked about the Midas touch in the last video, and I broke down the idea of the mythology about Midas. Okay. The king, whatever. Okay. But, I just want to say a little something about an egg, because, that is like a spring energy. Lots of things like birds and different things, laying eggs. Okay. So eggs is a theme right now. And obviously when Easter comes, but an egg is also like a feminine energy, because think about it. Not only do, like birds and things, eggs, but females, women, you have an egg every month, and it's to the point where, I can't get into all that because I don't have everything written down, but obviously women have little girls, babies or females are born with eggs. Okay. And the ovaries and all that. And, that's where your babies are, come from that. And then it takes the male energy to fertilize that. And basically, think about it, guys. Right now, this is fertile plains right now. Everything's fertile. And the idea is right now, this is a good time to be planting seeds, your seeds for manifestation. What do you want to see manifest in your life. Okay, so just use this fertile plane and plant those seeds now. So I hope you're getting what I'm saying. So, but the egg is like, it's a protective feminine energy as well, because when you think about it, okay, a woman obviously wants to protect her baby. Okay, she wants to protect her baby. Okay, and then when it comes to, animals, okay, like birds, the nest, they want to protect their eggs. Anything else, that where they lay eggs, they want to protect those eggs. That's their little babies. So it's protection. That egg is a symbol. It's protective. It's a feminine energy, and it's protective because something is being protected in that shell. Okay, inside a shell. So, okay, so I've told you that, but it also goes along with this whole fertility and kind of sexual energy. Okay. All right, so I'm going to give you a little bit of 333 alignment for spring, the Trinity of growth. Okay, I just want to mention the idea of spring. 3, it's it's the 3. Okay, one of the seasons. There's birth, spring, summer, or life would summer, harvest, autumn. This energy. Okay, the action. It's the time to move from thinking and planning. Well, I say we are planning and planting, right? Seeds. But then, obviously there is going to be an idea of sprouting, because things are sprouting right now. The earth is very, very alive. It's not going to be too long before you're going to start smelling the feminine, essences kind of floating through the air, through the flowers. There's going to be that just that fragrance, the fragrance of the flowers kind of flirting with your nose, right? So you're going to want to stop and smell those roses and all the different flowers. But anyhow, so thinking, planning, sprouting into sprouting. Okay, sprouting out. Okay. So I want to wish everybody, obviously, a happy spring equinox. I hope you enjoyed your spring equinox. If you can leave in the comments here, how that was for you or whatever. Did you get lucky? The universe did. Whatever, guys. I'm just trying to get you guys to, I hope you're enjoying the information I've come up with. And I hope you're enjoying the live as much as I have enjoyed coming up with the information and delivering it to you. Okay. Because I'm telling you, to me, this is one of my more interesting lives. So I'm going to keep working here. So again, I want to wish everyone a happy spring equinox. Yesterday, there was that perfect balance, light and shadow. And I'm Shadow Girl Sherry. So, hey, I like this. They're perfect light in shadow. And the light and the shadow were perfectly balanced. And I wanted to say, so was I. And so am I. I'm still Shadow Girl Sherry. So we have spent the winter shedding that 2025 wood snake skin. And yesterday, basically, we were breaking through the surface, okay? Leaving the old behind and moving forward. Okay, so in the old ways, now we're quickening up. The life force is starting to move faster. Think about life force and kind of think about a man. The male energy, and you just use your imagination. Come on now, life force moving forward kind of makes you think of a thrust. Okay, so just moving forward. Okay, so I want to say, if you've been seeing like the numbers, like angel numbers, like 111, 222, 333, 1111. Okay, that's a bit. I'm going to say that's your wake up call. Your wake up call. It's time to bloom. It is time to bloom. Okay. We are taking, it's time to bloom. We're stepping forward. Time to keep moving. Okay. Okay. So moving down through my notes and shifting. Active growth mode. Okay. The equinox is officially, it was Friday, March the 20th of 2026. And the energy is just a massive destiny reset. Okay. It was a massive destiny reset. Okay, the spiritual and kind of witchy meaning of Ostara 2026. This isn't just a normal spring. In 2026, the equinox happens right as Mercury stations direct. You know, we just had Mercury retrograde. We're out of that, thank goodness. Okay. And I'm especially thankful because I am a Gemini, and Gemini's the corresponding planet that corresponds with Gemini is Mercury. And if you have you know, Gemini is all about communication, and then you have the planet of communication, you know, it's not acting right and backwards and all that, then it's crazy. Drive you crazy. So anyhow, it's time to move forward. Okay, so this isn't just a normal spring. In 2026, the equinox happens right as Mercury stations direct. All that snake in the grass confusion from the retrograde is clearing out exactly as the sun crosses the equator. The balance. Day and night are equal. It's the 0 point where you decide what stays in the shadow and what steps into the light. Okay. And I hope you can see, I kind of changed this up and kind of put that idea in the visual that you're looking at right now, because they're all the part, this is Shadow Girl is in the dark, but then my name Sherry is in the light. Okay. In the light. So even though you don't know what I look like, but hey, it's coming. Okay. It's coming when I feel comfortable, when I know the time's right. Okay. So, so again, it's the 0 point where you decide what stays in the shadow and what steps into the light. And this is coming from Shadow Girl Sherry. Okay. So the witchy symbolism, there's symbols like, you know, the eggs, potential seeds, action. You think about the serpent energy. And even if you think about a male energy, I don't know if I want to go there. But anyhow, you get what I'm saying. Okay, the witchy symbolism. Symbols are eggs, potential. Seeds are action. And the serpent. In many traditions, the spring snake isn't a villain. It's the earth's kundalini energy rising up. And think about nature rising. Okay, rising. Okay, a male energy rising. Okay, coming alive. Okay. So it's the earth's kundalini energy rising up. Okay, so in my last video, I talked about that, you know, clearing all that 2025 wood snake energy and all that, shedding and moving forward. Okay. And then there's the, you know, I've talked about the frequency of the green, and, you know, with St. Patrick's Day and all that, the invisibility of green. But basically you aren't hiding from the world. You are blending into the growth so you can expand without interference. Okay. Now, guys, my channel is called Sunset Songs. And with that being said, I always come up with, before I go live or make a video, I always try to think of what I call a sunset song. And what is a sunset song? Basically, the idea is I tell like my higher self, my spirit guides, you might want to just say my mind, or maybe I thought about it, or whatever way you want to look at it. Put a song, you know, put a song in my mind, or play a song in my mind, or play a song, put it in my heart. Something that is tailored around whatever the subject matter is that I am talking about in that particular episode to my channel, Sunset Songs. So with that being said, I came up with a sunset song. In the song, I was debating whether I was going to do this song, or because there's like a night and day feel to it. Last year, I think it may have been last year or the year before, for the spring equinox, the first day of spring, I had the song by Al B. Sure. It was Night and Day by Al B. Sure. And that was perfect, you know, night and day, because, you know, night and day, that's what spring is all about. You know, everything was in perfect balance and they're coming together. But that kind of makes me think right now, I was debating, I didn't really talk about what the song was all about when I talked about it the last time, when I talked about the song by Al B. Sure, Night and Day. I didn't lay out, you know, how the song, you know, the inspiration or anything, but I was thinking about, okay, well, do I want to make that the sunset song and just kind of continue on it? or do I want to go to another song? And it's funny because the song that I picked, when I was looking up information, even on the internet, like in all this internet, it's going on and everything, actually found I actually found a site where they were comparing these two songs. It was so funny because here I've already made Albie Shore's Night and Day the sunset song for a spring equinox before. I just didn't expand on it and tell the whole story about it or any much about him. Okay. But I'm just like, am I going to do that song or am I going to jump over to this other song? Because it's just as dreamy. It's a dreamy, I'm going to say a Neptune kind of energy, dreamy to it, right? It's an old song. But to me, it's beautiful. If you look at the video and all that, you can definitely tell it's dated. The hairstyles are dated, everything. Very, very dated, but I can't help that I love the song. So, and I love to share music with you guys that maybe you've never heard, could be old or whatever, but I love the idea of sharing music with you guys so that you can maybe add different songs to your playlist. And at the same time, if I'll also say that, guys, you guys can give me some sunset songs. There's got to be lots of music that I haven't heard. So if you can leave it in the comments here in the chat or on any of my videos, a song that you enjoy that maybe you might want me to have, like go look at the song and make it the sunset song. It may be the sunset song or one night, or it could be that you've just given me a new song to go and listen to. And when I come across that, you've left me a song, I will go take a listen to it and give you my honest opinion on it, whether I like the beat or the sound of the song. Maybe I won't like the sound of the song, but maybe I'll like the message that's being delivered in the song. So again, sunset songs. But I was debating whether these songs work compared to each other on the internet, and it made I'm like, wow, see, I knew what I was talking about. But one thing I'll say about Albie Shore quickly is that Albie Shore right now, I believe he was in a coma not too long ago. Like he was sick. Like he's been dealing with some illness. But he is dating the comedian Luenell. They're dating right now. Not talking about, I've read that they're not thinking about getting married or anything like that, but they had a big friendship, and that friendship has turned over into a romance. So I wanted to say a little bit about that, but for now, that song is not the sunset song. The sunset song, and right now it is 9:36 p.m. That corresponds with one of the chakras. If you scrambled those numbers around, they all lie. Okay, if you had 369, I think that goes along with the heart. 369, I believe, goes with the root chakra. Okay, 369, I believe, corresponds with the root. Then when you start getting into like a 369 is the root, I believe. Okay, 639 or something like that, beginning with a 6 is like the heart. Okay, and then when you start getting into the 936 or 963, you're dealing with like the third eye and the crown. I just don't know which one it is. I would think that the 936 would be the third eye. And then the 963 I think would be the crown, because the crown chakra, when you start getting into those chakras, you're dealing with God knowledge. Okay, God-like knowledge. That's where it said that the universe and God is trying to communicate with you. Like we're one, like one, the divine, that connection. A crown. You've got a crown on your head. He's crowned you. Okay. So know the power of your mind and where to focus. Okay, so anyhow, but the song that I picked puts me in the mind of around about the kind of melody or sound like Albie Shore's Night and Day. So if you go and you check out the video and all that, again, it's dated, obviously. I look at it and it's like, look at the clothes that people were wearing, look at the hairstyles especially. And back at that time, obviously it was probably, can I say fly? That's probably dated too, but anyhow, you get what I'm saying. So, but if you look at the video, but I can't help that the song is beautiful. The song is beautiful. So, the song, connecting all these dots and everything together, it made sense to make this song the Sunset Song. The song is a song called 24/7. And the artist, the artist, that did the song 24/7, he went by the name Dino. And but his real name, and I'll read it down here in the notes. I believe it's Dean. Actually, it's not Dino because he went by Dino. That would sound cool back at that time, Dino, But he was born Dean Esposito. Okay, and but anyhow, so I tried to look up to see what the song meant, but there wasn't much information about the inspiration behind the song. But I'll go ahead and just say that obviously when you listen to the song, to me, it puts me in mind of spring love. Maybe a spring fling, because that's what I'm going to be talking about here and there in this time of spring, because, you think about spring flings, people are going to be having spring flings or thinking about spring flings, and people are going to be crossing your mind, and, you start smelling flowers and stuff, and when men, you're going to be thinking about women and their scent and them wearing perfumes that smell like flowers. And then women, I myself, I love to be around a man that takes the time to smell good and wears cologne. Nothing like it. That says a lot when a man takes time to do that. Not every man does. So when you get around a man that smells real good, it's like, ooh, he took some time out, and all right now. So anyhow, ladies, you know what I'm talking about. So, and guys, you know what I'm talking about too. So night and day and 24/7, 7 days a week and all that. So anyhow, but the song basically, I tried to look up information about the song, like how, what was the inspiration. I didn't come up with much. Basically, found a couple of words that said it, but not saying like, okay, when I think about the inspiration, sometimes people say, oh, it was this specific relationship or girl that I remember, woman that I remember from years ago, and I wrote the song about her or whatever like that. I didn't see any information like that. But I did see different things about, like, this is just about, having this feeling, it's love, and that funny feeling called love. And, I'll just say that I think the inspiration, it's love, obviously, because I think love is something that everybody wants to experience in their life. Maybe not everybody will, but I can't think of too many people where they don't, think I want to experience love and know what it feels like. And even if you have, the saying is, it's better to have loved and lost than to never have loved at all. So that's just what I wanted to share, about the song, because it's a very dreamy, I'm aligning it with Neptune like energy. The song is so dreamy. Okay, so the song again is called 24/7, and it's by Dino. He went by Dino. That was his name, stage name or whatever. The song was made in 1989, but his real name is Dean Esposito. Okay, so it is a song. This song is about unwavering presence and dedication. Okay, the lyric energy, 24/7. No, that sometimes, like, I will get AI, I'll get AI to try to help me to at least get the lyrics. And sometimes this is the one thing that I can't, I'm looking up information. I have a hard time getting that information. So I'm going to have to be working down through here to make sure that I've got the right lyrics, because I've just began this new thing here on my channel where I also want to share, like, read out all the lyrics to the song. I'm going to see what I can find here to break down for you as I go along. So basically, I'm tying this in with the equinox, obviously, because he's talking about 24/7. That's all the time. Okay. 24 hours, 7 days a week. But if you think about, and so that's love. Like somebody saying, I love you 24 hours and 7 days of the week, that I love you all the time. But I'm thinking more so of the 24/7, because yesterday it was basically broken down in half. It was half and half. But being that it was half and half, they're meeting in the middle. So when you have two halves come together, you have one. So you get what I'm saying? Two became one. Okay. So you get the energy behind all this. Okay. And this, the more I read through it, you're going to see it. I can't see why you wouldn't see it in the same way. Okay. So, basically, I'm just going to break down a little bit more about the equinox, okay, link and all that, how I linked it up with the song. And, the equinox is the start of the astrological new year, okay? And I just want you to think about things like, here's the song talking about like total dedication and unwavering love and all that, 24 hours, 7 days a week. I just want you to think about it in terms as well as being committed to your growth. Okay. And maybe this could be like an affirmation. I am committed to my growth 24/7. Okay. It's not a seasonal hobby. It's a lifestyle. Okay. Now, so basically, give you a little bit of an idea here. That, you can work, do some work, with your shadow. That's inner work. And the work you do in the light. Okay. Putting all this together, shadow and light. I'm Shadow Girl Sherry. And it's all about that constant flow, 24/7. You get what I'm saying? Constant flow, abundance, guys. Okay. I can't believe how quickly I've almost finished my bottle of water this time. Okay. That would be like if you really were having like a sexual encounter, and you got so thirsty after that encounter. But anyhow, so here we go. Okay, so again, I want to say happy equinox to everyone, even though we're a day ahead. Get what I'm saying? But yesterday, the world was in balance. Okay, the world was in perfect harmony and balance. But we've stepped out of the Pisces new moon and into the fire of Aries. Okay, we've cleared away that wood snake kind of energy. You might still be shedding. I know I am. I'm not gonna lie. I'm still shedding things. I'm still shedding things. But anyhow. So, I guess people would kind of think like, why do I call myself Shadow Girl? I've explained it for the most part. It's about really I found out about it. I had already named myself Shadow Girl Sherry, but it really does have a lot to do with, the fact that, it's not bad to do shadow work, especially when you've called yourself Shadow Girl Sherry. Okay. Okay. But basically, the sun is coming out and all that, and I'm happy about it, guys. And I can't wait to see the flowers bloom and all that. And because I am a May baby. I'm basically, okay, there's April showers. Because there are April showers, I am a Mayflower because I was born in the beautiful month of May. My mom had me in the beautiful month of May. And I always love that idea of being born in May when flowers are blooming, and I look at myself as a flower. But I look at myself definitely as a late bloomer. Now in life, you think about flowers and the way, you think about young girls blooming like flowers. Okay. I can't say that I was a late bloomer in that aspect. I was not. I was not. But at the same time, I feel like in life, um, I'm definitely a late bloomer. I'm definitely a late bloomer, even when it comes to, because I'm still doing that shadow work. So, it's all about blooming and coming out. And I think about how much I enjoy this journey with the law of attraction, spirituality, and all that.
This really makes me happy, but it's been a long time coming to where I've gotten to the point where I'm sharing the journey with other people. Obviously, because I have a channel now, but it's been a long time coming, and I just feel like I'm so happy to be sharing the journey with other people that are trying to grow as well. So again, I do consider myself to be a late bloomer, though. Like, but that's part of the reason why I'm in the spirituality and I'm sharing the journey with you all, right? So anyhow, so Mercury went direct. That happened on March the 20th. Mental clarity is back. Aries Sun, think about direct action and I am energy. I am. And think about a ram. When I think about Aries, I think about Aries the ram, because a ram is the mascot for Aries. And think about rams, like I think about ram, but I think about ran, because think about if you had two rams running into each other. They're move forward, okay? Move forward. Okay, so basically direct action and I am energy. And when it comes to ram, the word am is in there. It's in hidden in that word ram. Okay, so just think about it. Direct action and I am energy. I am going to do this. I am beautiful. I am rich. I am, and guys, you put the word behind it. I am. Okay, because this is commanding. That's commanding and calling down. It's I am. Okay. So anyhow, 24/7 is the theme that I've decided to go with. Let's see. So guys, I hope I'm helping you to get in this whole spring vibe. Okay. Okay, so basically the song by Dino, 24/7, the song from 1989, it's about, is dedicated round the clock connection. Okay, the real vibe is about how you feel when that energy calls your name deep in the night. There's the energy, okay? But, you get what I'm saying. I'm just wrapping all this, tying it all in together. Okay, so 24/7. 24/7, that's 365 days a year. 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Okay, and that altogether is 365 days, and that's a year. That's every day. Okay, so on the equinox, when the year resets, you are, kind of think about the year is reset, and kind of telling the universe that your commitment to your path, it doesn't take a day off. Okay, you're always growing. It's Monday through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, every day, round and round the clock. Okay, that's a lyric in the song. Okay, spring equinox, Ostera kind of notes. Let's see. I'm just having you think about things like pure, like life force. Okay, life force energy. Okay. The balance point, day and night are equal. Yesterday, the day and night were equal. It's the perfect time uh, for a shadow girl such as myself, or if you feel like you need to do shadow work. That was the perfect time. Day and night were equal. Perfect time for like a shadow girl like myself to stand in the center. Think about yourself a little, okay? And think about what you are trying to manifest in the life that you are wanting to live. Put your, at this point in now, and just think a little bit about yourself and standing in the light. Like you finding your center point, okay? You aren't just in the dark and you aren't just in the light. You aren't just in the dark and you aren't just in the light. You are the point where they meet. Okay. And you can see that in the detail in the visual that I have for you guys. All right. And I thought this would be the perfect time to add at the bottom. I normally don't put, I put Shadow, this is Shadow Girl Sherry in a lot of my videos, but I've decided now the way that I've been doing it like this way, I've decided that I'm going to try to start adding more, some of the videos I want to add the idea that my channel is called Sunset Songs, so it's at the bottom. And with that being said, I hope you will choose to like, click, share, subscribe, all those different things. Find me here on TikTok, Sherry Shadow Closet, Shadow Girl Sherry. Go over on YouTube. My channel all together is called Sunset Songs. You want to make sure that you're finding the right Sunset Songs. Basically, you are going to, and this is, pretty good time to explain it. My logo, I'll say, it's Sunset Songs, but it's the color, the sunset in the songs. I don't know which one's written in pink or which word is written in orange, but these are two colors that I love to see in a sunset, and my channel is called Sunset Songs. The circle that these two words are within could stand for a sunrise, the energy of the sun, the sunset. It could just stand for the energy of the sun altogether, or at the same time, just because the sun is round, but the moon, when it's full, it's round as well. So both of those energies are in, basically a sunset. And I look at it as my channel is called Sunset Songs. I love romantic music. I love love songs. I love love. I love the idea of, being in love, or people being, in love, because when people are in love, you notice how happy they are, their spirits lift. Okay. And it just makes you happy. And the more people that are happy, that makes for a great world. All right. Harmony in the world, balance in the world, I think, anyway. So, moving right along, but that's what you're looking at. And I think about the name of my channel, Sunset Songs. I think at a sunset, it's kind of like the sun and the moon have just met up with each other, and it's just like they're giving each other like a kiss goodnight. Like, okay, the sun setting, the sun and the moon are meeting up, and it's like a kiss between the two. Sunset Songs. Okay. And I obviously, on my channel, I'm going to be sharing all kinds of different music. It could be jazz, it could be country, it could be like yacht rock or smooth jazz, or a rock song, or a soft rock song, or easy listening, or R&B, or rap, or anything. It could be 60s, 70s, 80s. It could be from a movie soundtrack. It could be anything. But the more things are left for me, you give me more ideas, then the more I expand with, my playlist. So my idea is to kind of help you add some interesting different songs that you've never heard to your playlist as well. And we're doing this thing together and manifesting our best lives. But anyhow, so there you go. Anytime you choose to like, click, share, subscribe, all those different things, you are lighting a candle in me and lighting that fire in me. And I hope that, whenever you choose to like, click, share, subscribe, you're letting me know that I'm lighting a fire in you. And that's what I want to do. And it's all about us, joining up and doing this thing together. And everybody sharing. And when there are going to be, it's a world of duality. I did call my channel Sunset Songs. And, before you have a sunrise, you're going to have darkness. So in that sense, that can be dreamy. Obviously, people love to get together at night, but there also is like a duality to that. There are going to be times where maybe we're not the happiest. Obviously, I deal with that myself here and there. I actually have to take medicine for depression, but I don't like to keep focusing on that. Right? There's good things to focus on, and I know that it is a world of duality. Like, things aren't happy, joy all the time. But when things come our way, we're not happy or whatever. The idea is to work through it together and transmute it. Like, what can we do to make this better? Okay. That's the idea. That's the idea. Because through the law of attraction, when you think a positive thought, you hang out with positive people, you're asking for that energy to be returned back to you. When you're being positive, you're putting that out, you're going to get more in them. Not to say everything's going to be perfect, but you're going to be getting more of that delivered back to you. So the universe wants to give you that. Okay. So anyhow, I'm going to keep talking. And let me find out where I was at. But basically, just try to center yourself and stand in the center, and think about where you're going and your focus. What are you focused on? What can you do for your manifestation and for your goals? What plant seeds are you planting right now? Okay. All right. Moving right along. I want to say happy spring equinox and all that, because we're still working this energy. Okay, we're still working with this energy. Okay. Okay, now here I've got some of the lyrics to the song by Dino from 1989. The song is called 24/7. This is just a couple of the lyrics, because then leave it to, information you find on the internet, like, or whatever. Some of the lyrics came up wrong, but this is a real lyric, okay? And this song is about a total dedicated presence, obviously, because this is 24/7. The song's called 24/7. So if you're going 24/7, that's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that's a whole year. And that's a whole year. You keep doing it over and over again. That's adding up. So 24/7, okay? And there are 365 days in a year. You keep on doing it, you got a year, and hey, then you're going into the next year, and hey, this is positive. So here's some of the lyrics, okay? I like the way that you give me all your love each day. Okay, that's one of the lyrics. And the next one's wrong. The next lyric I see is wrong. Yeah, the next lyric is wrong, but I like the way that you give me all your love each day is the way the song opens. Okay. Okay. Okay, but here this is a lyric. Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday, round and round the clock 2 times. And think about it too. That was a very powerful energy yesterday, because you had that feminine and the masculine energy coming together and meeting in the middle, perfect harmony. Okay. So the vibe of the song is about, he says things about, there's a rhythm to it, and he says, deep in the night. And then he talks about wait a minute, I'm trying to think of that exact lyric. You got me going in circles. You got me going in circles. And think about the moon and the sun. It's a circle. It's a cycle. But he says, you got me going in circles. Like you got him going in circles. He's doing this all the time. He's in love with you. In the song, like, he's talking about 24/7, 24/7, 7 days a week. That's a circle. That's doing it over and over and over again, like dedication. But you could also look at that as maybe that you don't want to work every day, but 24/7, 7 days a week, you don't want to work that way. But I don't think it's such a bad idea to kind of think about your manifestations, like your goals every day, like put just a little bit, toward a goal every day. Like, don't forget about it. Or I've heard it often said, if you even look at a clock, or you look at the moon, or you look at the sun, it's a circle. So if you had like a pie chart, and that's like a circle, and you had things drawn out as to, okay, I want to do this a little bit every day, I want to do this, and then you keep doing that, you're building like a habit, like this is a cycle. And and if you see it in front of you, I think I may have seen Oprah may have said something like that, but that just came to my thought. But if you had like a pie chart, how much attention do you want to give to certain things every day, or this day of the week, or whatever like that? And or just having, you say, a vision board, like having it someplace where you can see it every day. Okay. So Monday through Friday, Saturday and Sunday, round and round the clock 2 times, right? That's what some of the lyrics in the song. Obviously my channel's called Sunset Song, so I've got to tie it all together. But going in circle, okay, deep in the night and going in circles, it's like it's like the cycles of the season, okay? So we've got that 0 point. That's where the balance is. This is the day of equal night. So yesterday was the day of equal night. Like it was a 0 point, a balance. Okay. And there's a word, I guess that this is called, like light and dark, being perfectly balanced. And I'm going to spell it out for you. AEQUINOCTIUM. Okay. And so you can look that up, whatever. But light and dark are perfectly balanced as a shadow girl. Okay. Perfect balance, guys. Okay. You are standing at the exact center of that scale that yesterday, or just look at it this way. Okay. The quickening, the moment the life force stops being a plan and starts being an action. Okay. Okay. And let's see, I'm moving forward. I'm thinking about Kundalini, the life force energy, rising. Okay. Getting rid of things that no longer serve us. So we're shedding that. We've shed that. And we're rising. Okay, the Kundalini is rising. Okay, Aries fire. The sun moves into Aries. Okay. It's the I am energy. It's bold, it's first, and it's ready to move. Okay. Okay. There is the lyric in the song, round and round the clock 2 times. Okay. And this basically makes me think about, to make you think of the 12 hours of light and the 12 hours of light and 12 hours of dark. It was in a perfect balance yesterday. You think about it, the spring equinox, you think about equal, think about the equator. Okay. Think about that. Okay. And I'm telling you, the more you keep working with this stuff, it will start to make more and more sense to you as you do it. So basically a bit of a message for you, for me and just for the community, just trying to kind of be dedicated to what you're doing. Okay. Just like the earth is dedicated to the cycle, like to a cycle. Okay. It works in cycles, Monday through Friday. Monday through Friday, the flow, like, and it's not just Monday through Friday, but it's 7 days a week. There's just a flow that goes along with the universe, and the universe just naturally knows what to do. Okay. It's naturally knows what to do. So again, happy spring equinox to you guys. The light and the shadow were equal. Okay. They were equal yesterday. Okay. Okay. And I just want you to think about this, from the deepest night to the brightest day, just standing in your power and your focus. Okay. Don't forget about your goals. This isn't just a season, it's a commitment to growth. Okay. Now, the peak for the spring equinox, it was at 10:46 a.m. Eastern Time yesterday. Okay. So, and yesterday was Friday, March the 20th of 2026. The sun, at its peak, the sun crossed the equator. Okay. So just keep all this equal, balance, harmony. The equator, equal, balance. Okay. Just think about these things, these ideas. Okay. Again, the peak, was at 10:46 a.m. Guys, I tried to put that here in the visual that I have for you, but it didn't work out that way. It's not, but you see we're within the 10 o'clock hour, okay? And the clocks look the same, but that was about balance. The two of them meeting together in harmony, or you could say like a sexual union, okay? Perfect harmony. And when like a male and a female energy come together in perfect harmony, that's where fertilization takes place, okay? And think about it, that was the time. You look out now, look how fertile everything is. Everything's coming to life. It's like, a baby like coming to life, okay? Okay. So the energy, we are officially in the direct energy of the new year. The balance basically took place in the morning, and then there's the light. The light is beginning to overtake the dark. Okay, that's from that point on. That's what started to happen. The light is starting to take over the dark. Okay, so think about what you are trying to bring out. Okay. Okay. All right. This is just all about growth. Again, happy spring equinox to everyone. Just the world fell into a perfect balance. Okay. So basically last night, when the sun set, and my channel was called Sunset Songs, I would like to think that, this was the very first day of spring, going into the night. And I would like to think that everybody was basically feeling their power, like you're knowing how you want to move forward. Okay. The work doesn't stop. It doesn't stop here. We're just getting started. All right. There's just this, if you listen to the song, there's just a rhythm and a beat, a flow that goes along with this song. And right now, guys, it's 10:10, and my phone is actually at 33%. 33 is a very this is a highly spiritual number. It's a number, it's a master number. 3 and 3 is a master number. But well, now it's not 10:10 anymore. Now it's 10:11. But usually when, the two numbers meet up back to back, like it's 10:10, that's kind of like what it was like yesterday. This perfect balance, harmony. I like to say, think about something that you're manifesting, and just look at it and think of it as it's already yours. Like, how would you feel if you had it? If you had the love of your life, if you had this person that you have been dreaming of, like that Neptune energy you've been dreaming of, and all of a sudden, like say right now, like if you had that person, if you had this person, and they're looking at you and they're saying things like the lyrics to this song, and guys, I'm telling you to go listen to it. It's, the video and everything is dated, and I thought about that. I'm like, am I going to share it because it's dated? But to me, it's just a beautiful song, and it gives me that spring kind of feeling, like a spring fling or a spring romance, and just freshness, and just, looking at somebody and just like, man, that's mine. Like, like it's just or even if you wanted to look out at the day, like when you open the door and you see a beautiful day and you realize you're off. Like say you open the door and it's a beautiful spring day where the weather's like perfect, and you see the flowers out and the birds are singing, and say you're off that day and you're like, man, I'm off today. This is beautiful. Like, this is beautiful to look at. Like, I got this whole day. What am I going to do with my day? Like, what am I going to do? Do I want to go out and do something, or do I just want to like relax on my porch, or, go jump on a hammock, or what do I want to do? Like, just imagine that. It wouldn't have to be, you think about the energy and the tempo of the song. You could think about love, or you could just think about loving life and loving like a beautiful day, or a beautiful sunrise, or a beautiful sunset, and just knowing, the universe or God, whatever you want to call it, gave you that gift. And it's like, why do you want to waste it? Like, life can be beautiful. You get what I'm saying? That this is what the law of attraction is about. And, um, and I just wanted to share this song because to me, it just has this springy kind of feeling to it, like total Neptune. And if you look up what Neptune, it's just very dreamy. Okay. So, okay. So 1046, Friday, March the 20th, 26 at 10:46 a.m. That was the official start of the equinox. It's the vernal equinox, basically the trigger for the northern hemisphere. The precise second the sun crossed the celestial equator. Okay. At that point, at 1046, you were basically standing in the first like few hours, few moments of the new astrological new year. Okay. And you think about Aries. Aries starts with A. It starts with an A. And think about the new like astrological year. That starts with A, astrological, okay? And Aries, okay? It starts everything. So basically at 10:46 a.m., it was the reset button, the official astrological birth of spring. Okay. So the sun and the moon came together and they did what they did. If you get what I'm saying, they met up, kissed each other, and the birth of spring is born. Okay. So, all right. Okay. And there's just a cycle to the earth and the way that the cycles of the earth, like, and it just knows what to do naturally, just knows what to do. And that's like a gift, like just like your body is like a gift, like your body just knows what to do. It's set to like a cycle as well. Like when you go to sleep, you don't have to worry about it. It's just like, I mean, unless it were your time, I hate to say it, but then obviously, I mean, to me, that would be a good way to go. That'd probably be the best way to go, to just go in your sleep. Come on now. But, basically, you don't have to tell your heart to beat. When you go to sleep, God's got that. God, if maybe, I don't know if you want to call it the universe, whatever. There's something that's got that, as long as it's meant to be, it's got that. Okay. I say God's got that. I go to sleep. I say my prayer. I love to say, to think about, what was nice in the day, just to calm down and, think about the possibilities of tomorrow, actually, obviously. But at the same time, it's nice to, think about the good things that happened in the day. And it's nice to just, say, hey, I'm going to let go. And this is me. I'm going to let go and I'm going to let God. Like tonight, I'm going to say thank you to God, for the day. And I'm going to close it down, the day down, and to myself in my head. And when I'm alone, I love to say it out loud, but and to hear it, but just to but I don't want to get into the negative aspects of it, like there it's so said that the devil's like always listening, so you don't want to share all your, sometimes you want to keep your things to yourself. You don't want to say everything out loud because you think about phones, and phones are always the algorithm, and you don't want to start anxiety or whatever. But it's just, to me, it's nice to pray. It's relaxing to pray and just think that I've got a connection to something that's higher than what's down here, and it's higher than this energy can see beyond the limitations of like another person. Like it's limitless, and it's powerful, and it's nice to feel that connection to it, and it's nice to be grounded in that before you go to bed at night. So that's just what I wanted to share with you at that point. Felt called to do it. So let's see, let me move one down. See what the next note I want to share with you guys. Okay, so the global equinox Pulse, March 20th, 26. The universal instant. The equinox is a single global event that occurred at the exact same moment for every person on Earth, 10:46 a.m. Eastern time, regardless of their time zone. It's just it was different depending on like what part, and I'm going to read that. The global mirror. At that one specific moment, the Earth achieved a perfect 50-50 balance, okay? Northern hemisphere. The northern hemisphere hit the reset button for spring, where the light begins to take. I'm sorry. The northern hemisphere hit the reset button for spring, where the light begins to overtake the shadow. Okay. The southern hemisphere, they hit the reset button for autumn, where the shadow begins to take over the light. Okay. The 24/7 connection. This global flip is the ultimate round and round the clock movement. While we are rising into the sun, the other half of the world is embracing the shade. It is a constant 24/7 cycle of balance. Okay. All right. Okay, and there's just that masculine and feminine balance for the spring equinox. All right. The sacred balance, March 20th, 2026. The union. Now think about this, guys. The union of energy. The equinox is the ultimate moment of equilibrium. It is a perfect 50-50 balance between the masculine light, which is action. The male energy is action oriented. And think about men. Men are, you think about action because, if things are being done right, who's thrusting, who's moving, okay? You could look at it that way when it comes to like nighttime activities, but you could also look at it as like men have the physical strength. Men have physical strength. Whereas women, their power is in like their intuition in the inner part. But masculine energy, a woman can't do the things that a man, we don't have the strength. I mean, I guess we're getting to the point now where there's, I don't know. I don't want to get into all that, but yeah, I'll stay away from that where people have, women are, what is it like? There are males that have tried to be into like different like sports. I won't go into all that. Because it's getting away from the subject. But men are just, they are outwardly it's physical, like they have physical strength, whereas with women it's feminine, like intuition, like we have that inner. But the man comes with that action and the strength, so just sharing this. Okay, so the union of energy, the equinox is the ultimate moment of equilibrium. It is a perfect 50-50 balance between the masculine light action. You think about in the morning, most people go to work in the morning, okay? Action towards your goals. Taking action, steps towards your goals, moving, making money, that kind of stuff. Now, you think about that feminine energy, that's the moon, okay? The inner, okay? This is the kind of slowing down, and I'm thinking about the masculine, like getting home, and you get what I'm saying, just consider these things. The masculine is the sun energy, the light, and it's about the action. You're more active. You're usually, if you're in sync with things, you're usually more active and during the day. That's just if you're working with the cycle of, nature mostly, okay? But the masculine is the light, it's the sun, and it's the action. You're more likely to take action during the day. Whereas the night is the feminine, that's the moon, that's the shadow, and that's the intuition, okay? And think about it. At that time, people are usually coming in, okay? You might be getting ready to get romantic, but at the same time, you're coming in and you're shutting the door and things are getting quiet for the most part, okay? All right, so the 0 point. At 10:46 a.m., neither side was dominant. They held equal weight, okay? So basically, you weren't choosing one over the other. You were the point where they met. Like, perfect meeting. You were in balance as well, okay? A balance. 24/7 harmony. This balance is how you move round and round the clock. It's the secret to staying in the flow Monday through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You're balancing the doing with the being. Again, I'm going to say that. Balancing, it's about, life is a balancing act, okay? It's about the balancing of, and you are, balancing the doing with the being. The doing with the being, okay? Okay, the sacred balance, March 20th, 26th, the union of energy, the equinox is the ultimate moment of equilibrium, a perfect 50-50 balance. The masculine energy is represented by the sun. It is the energy of action, visibility, and vitality. Okay, at 10:46, this sun energy stood in exact balance with the feminine. The 24/7 harmony, okay, the round and round the clock movement is about the sun energy, the masculine, rising up to meet the moon energy, the feminine, in a constant cycle. Okay, so the sun, think about it, the sun rises, okay, and this is the male energy. The sun rises, okay, male energy, okay. The movement is about this sun energy, the masculine, rising up to meet the feminine moon energy. The feminine is a constant cycle, and obviously, the feminine energy is about that receiving. Okay. And reflection. Okay. The celestial crossing. Okay. The precise moment. This peak isn't just a general time. It is the exact second the sun, the masculine energy, physically crossing the celestial equator. It is the exact second the sun, the masculine energy, physically crossed the celestial equator. The direction. The sun moves from the south to the north. So think about that. The south is down, but then the north is up. Okay, now think about it, guys. Male energy moving from south to north, down to up. Okay, rising. Okay, and what does that? Think about it, guys. Like, this is beautiful, really. If you break it down, it really is beautiful. It's kind of like hour cycles. Like, you see, we're one with the universe, really. Like, if you really break it down, the precise moment, this peak isn't just a general time. It is the exact second the sun, the masculine energy, physically crosses the celestial equator. The direction, the sun moves from the south to the north. The position, for us in the northern hemisphere, this movement is what triggers the official start of spring. It is the sun stepping over the line to bring the light back to our side of the world. The 24/7 rhythm, okay? There definitely was a rhythm to, to the cycles, and there was a rhythm to that song. The sun is constantly in this moving and there's a constant flow of energy going on. Okay. Growth and rest. Okay, there's just these cycles. Okay, so this equal light moment is the literal heartbeat of the equinox. Think about male and feminine energies coming together in that heartbeat. That the heartbeat quickens, and this is, to me, that all this stuff is very, very beautiful. I never looked at things like this before, but when you break it down and you really look into it, like listen to to the way it breaks down, it's beautiful. The dance of the universe and the feminine and the masculine. Okay, we really are one, like one with the universe. Now let's see. Okay. The position, let's see. At this, okay, the solar alignment was at 10:46 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. The position at this exact instant, the sun, the masculine energy, is positioned. Now listen to this. The solar alignment at 10:46 a.m. yesterday. The position at this exact instant, the sun, the masculine energy, is positioned directly above the Earth's equator. It isn't just leaning north or south. It is perfectly centered. The balance of light. This alignment creates a global 50-50 split. We get approximately 12 hours of daylight and 12 hours of darkness across the entire planet. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of a shadow girl connection here. This is the day where the shadow and the light are in a perfect 24/7 dance. 24 hours or a 20, I'm sorry, the shadow girl connection. This is the one day where the shadow and the light are in a perfect 24/7 dance, 12 hours for each side. The hemisphere shift. Northern hemisphere. Yesterday it was the vernal, I hope I'm pronouncing it, vernal equinox. Moving from the cold we were moving from the cold into the spring quickening, okay? The southern hemisphere, they were experiencing the opposite, the autumnal, autumn equinox, okay? The global pulse. Even though we are experiencing different seasons, we are all tied to that same 10:46 a.m. 0 point. We were all tied to that yesterday. Even though we were experiencing different seasons, we were all tied to that same 10:46 a.m. 0 point. And that makes me think of AM when I think about it now. When you think about a clock and you think about the AM, that makes me think of that energy of I am. Like, what am I today? What am I going to do with this beautiful, like, God-given day? What am I going to do? I am going to do this. That's the AM. And think about the clock. What am I going to do today? I am going to do this. The AM. Okay. What steps are you going to take? What work are you willing to put out to do to get to where you want to be? What are you going to do? What am I going to do today? I am going to take this. I am. Okay. Okay. But think about that AM. That's in the morning. That's that male energy, masculine energy, moving, doing. Okay. And then if you think about the energy when they come together, that might equal out to be a little bit like a thrust. I am doing this. We're doing this. Okay. I might have to ask her. Obviously, I got to ask her, but we're doing this. Like, she just said yes, so we're going to do this, okay? And now I'm doing this, and what is he doing? Well, he's coming forward. So, come on now. So, we got it. Okay. So, you get what I'm saying. I just think this is... I never looked at it like this until I got into spirituality, and it's broken down, and just also the idea of the conscious and the subconscious, and where the magic happens. Okay. Now, and I just think about that we're all tied to that 0 point. We were all tied to that yesterday, and nobody got out of it. And we're just different, but we were all tied to it. Okay. Okay. So let's see. At 10:46 yesterday morning, the sun stood. Now listen to this. 24/7 balance. Okay. At 10:46 yesterday morning, the sun This is the masculine energy. At 10:46 yesterday morning, the sun stood directly over the equator, giving us 12 hours of light and 12 hours of shadow. Round and round the clock, the sun crossed from south to north, triggering the spring for us. It's a 24/7 commitment to the cycle. As the masculine sun energy perfectly mirrors the feminine moon energy. We are in the center of that balance. We were in the center of that balance yesterday. Okay. So the sun crossed from south to north, triggering the spring for us. It's a 24/7 commitment to the cycle, as the masculine sun energy perfectly mirrors the feminine moon energy. We were in that center. We were in the center of that balance yesterday. A 12-hour split. And think about the mind, like your mind, there's a feminine and a masculine part. You got to look into it, okay? Okay. Just kind of diving into this, and God, gosh, it just makes me feel like Neptune, like kind of energy, just dreamy. Okay. Okay, the feminine side of the 12-hour split, while the masculine is the sun, the masculine energy, the male energy, the masculine energy is the sun. It is the doing and the light. The feminine aspect is the womb of creation, where all your ideas are born before the world ever sees them. Okay? Okay, and that just makes me think to tell you that you don't have to tell everybody every little thing. You don't have to tell every little thing you're planning to do. Let them see it. Let them see it first. And then you don't have to explain yourself, because the work is already done. Everything's done. You don't tell anybody, because I'm thinking about, the ocean. Okay. Think about the ocean. And the ocean, a body of water, feminine energy is water energy. It deals with the moon. The moon, it deals with the tides of the seas and the oceans and everything, and even your body. Your body is 70% water. And I'm thinking of, what's the saying? Loose lips sink ships. Loose lips sink ships. Now think about it. That feminine energy, when you are working on a manifestation, when you have something that you are planning, okay? You are planning, okay? You don't have to tell everybody what you're doing. You don't have to tell everybody what you're doing, because why? Again, that feminine energy out among the sea, the ship is in the sea, okay? Loose lips sink ships. This has been a Shadow Girl Sherry exclusive. Okay? Loose lips sink ships. Okay? You don't have to tell everybody everything. Let them see it. Okay? And then they can talk about it, and then they know that it happened. You tell people things about stuff, and then they go and they spread things, and things get messed up. Things get messed up. Let them see it once it's already happened, and then they can talk. This has been a Shadow Girl Sherry exclusive, okay? You heard it here, all right? Now, moving right along. Loose lips sink ships, okay? So, let's see here. I'm going to read it again, all right? A little bit of a deep dive here. A deep dive, that feminine energy, okay? While the masculine is the sun, the doing, okay? You got to take action on things, but you don't got to tell everybody what you're doing, okay? All right? Okay? while the masculine energy is the sun, the doing. Okay, you don't have to tell everybody what you're doing. And the light, the feminine. So the sun, the masculine energy is the sun, which is the doing, and it's the light energy. Okay, what's in the light, what can be seen, the doing. Okay, what you're doing, you don't have to tell everybody. Okay, the feminine is the womb of creation, where all ideas are born before the world ever sees them. So think about a baby. Now, if a woman's pregnant, she doesn't even really have to tell the guy that she's pregnant by. She don't have to tell him right away. She might keep it for a while. And then finally, okay, well, somebody might the guy might know, honey, you're putting on weight. I like the way that the weight's falling on you, looking pretty nice. Some men like a little cushion for the pushing or whatever. But and then there's some maybe don't like it, but well, you could say, well, hey, I'm a good cook. But either way, you're starting to put on a little weight. Okay, then see, this is the idea you're starting to show. So then you go and you announce it. Okay, yeah, I'm pregnant. Okay, woman's pregnant. Okay. But even then, like, a woman can be tricky. She could be telling one guy that she's, and I'm not saying this is good. I'm just saying that this is just secrets, right? Women secrets. Men can have secrets too. But obviously, yeah, men can have secrets too, because they could have another woman, be with one woman and have another woman that way. But I'm not encouraging any of this stuff. You get what I'm saying? What I'm saying is, it's just keep things to yourself. Not everybody has to know every little thing, right? Because loose lips sink ships, that feminine energy. Don't let everybody know the things that, what doesn't need to be seen. It's not seen yet. Why has anybody got to know about it, right? They'll see it when it's done. Okay. So plan it and get it here, and there we go. So the feminine is the womb of creation, where all ideas are born before the world ever sees them. Okay. I think I've laid it down pretty good. The feminine, the 12 hours of shadow, the moon energy, while the masculine sun was directly over the equator at 10:46 a.m., it created a perfect mirror for the feminine moon energy, the 12-hour womb. If the 12 hours of light is the show, the 12 hours of darkness is the soul. The 12-hour womb. If the 12 hours of light is the show, the 12 hours of light is the show, the 12 hours of darkness is the soul. In witchy terms, this is the fertile soil. You can't have the spring without the dark, quiet earth holding the seed first. The Shadow Girl perspective. 12 hours of shadow is just as productive as, okay, this is the Shadow Girl perspective that I want to share with you. Okay, this came from Shadow Girl Sherry. This is a Shadow Girl Sherry exclusive. Okay. You have 12 hours of shadow. 12 hours of shadow is just as productive as the 12 hours of light. It's where the intuition speaks and the 2025 clearing actually takes root. Okay, the round and round the clock sync. The 50-50 marriage. Okay, this was like a marriage yesterday, a union. Okay. At 10:46 a.m., the masculine and feminine were in a perfect marriage. Okay. A perfect marriage. Harmony. 24/7 flow. You aren't just a day person or a night person. Okay. You have to kind of work with both. You are using the 12 hours of feminine darkness to dream it, and the 12 hours of masculine light to do it. I'll say it again. You aren't just a day person or a night person. You have to master both. You are using the 12 hours of feminine darkness to dream it, and the 12 hours of masculine light to do it. Okay? Shadow and light. The sun crossing the equator, it crossed at 10:46 a.m. yesterday. But don't forget about that 12 hours of shadow that came with it. That's the feminine energy, the intuition, the dark soil, the shadow girl wisdom. Okay? You need the 12 hours of the moon energy to fuel the 12 hours of sun energy. Okay? Yesterday, they were perfectly equal. Okay? It wasn't just about moving into the light. We were moving in a complete balanced circle. Okay? The south to north spiritual meaning. The south to north spiritual meaning. The accent. As the sun moves south to north, it symbolizes the feminine energy pushing the masculine energy up into visibility. It's the support system. Okay? Support. And think about that. What's that saying? It makes me think of that saying. Behind every good man or whatever, or working man or something, there's a good woman. They just go together and they make a good match, a good team. I wish somebody helped me out. What is the saying? For every good man or whatever, every man, good man or whatever, there was a good woman behind him, like the supportive energy, encouraging him, like, you can do this, you got this. Like, I know you got it. You got it. Okay. All right. They come together and it works. Okay. Feminine and masculine energy, the accent. As the sun moves south to north, it symbolizes the feminine energy pushing. Okay, pushing. What do women do when they have children? They push. Okay, the masculine energy up into visibility. So basically, she has pushed his seed out, and then you see it visible. There's birth. Okay, work together, male and feminine energy. Masculine and feminine energy working together in perfect harmony. Okay. So here, light and shadow being woven together. Okay, that's my idea, Shadow Girl Sherry. All right. So I'll tell you a little bit about the goddess Astera and the hair. In ancient lore, the goddess Astera, where we get the name Easter, represents the dawn. She's the feminine energy that wakes up the masculine sun. Okay, a little bit of a Shadow Girl twist here. Legend says she found a bird whose wings were frozen in the late winter frost and turned it into a hare so it could run. That hare could still lay eggs, the potential eggs. You are kind of like the hare. Even when things were frozen in 2025, you were secretly preparing the eggs of your future projects in the 12 hours of shadow. Okay? The marriage of sun and moon. In many witchy traditions, the spring equinox is the green wedding, the action. The sun, masculine energy, and the moon, the feminine, stand on equal ground for one day. This is where the clock, round and round the clock, they aren't fighting for dominance. They are dancing. Okay? 365 days, right? Okay. They take turns leading the way. And, they're doing this thing together. It's a dance. Okay? Okay. The goddess of the goddess of the balance. The ancients called this day Astera, the moment the dawn finally breaks the back of winter. At 12:46 yesterday morning, the masculine sun and the feminine moon stood eye to eye. Neither one was bigger than the other. Okay? It was a commitment, a balance, harmony, a union, together as one. Two halves make a whole. Okay, creation. Okay. Basically, I'm the shadow girl, you know. It's all about knowing how to use the 12 hours of darkness to fuel the 12 hours of light. We aren't just starting spring, we are starting a whole new cycle of power, guys. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, let's see here. Okay, so the math. Okay. I just kind of added up, you know, the 10 plus the 4 plus the 6. Okay, that was, you know, it was 10:46 a.m., which take those take those numbers, add them together. 10:46 a.m., 10:46 a.m. Okay. The math, take those numbers, add them up, it equals 20. In numerology, 20 is the number of the awakening. But we're going to kind of look at the date here. The third month, 20th day, 2026. The 3. We are in the third month of March. The Trinity. I've always talked about, you know, I talk about the 333 energy. The Trinity. The 333, it represents the mind, the body, and the spirit. At the equinox, those three were in a perfect 12 hour to 12 hour. It was a balance going on, guys. The meaning, the 333 is the green light from the universe. It's the sign that your 2025 clearing was successful and you are now in the sprouting phase. Okay. A bit of 11:11 connection, the gateway, the instant shift. The peak was at 10:46 a.m., just 25 minutes before the 11:11 gateway. Okay. Think of 10:46 a.m. yesterday. It was like the moment you approached the door, and 11:11 a.m. was the moment you stepped through. Okay. If you saw 11:11 yesterday, it was the universe confirming that your 24/7 dedication is being recorded. The universe is watching, okay? If you saw 333 or 11:11 yesterday, or any angel numbers, the equinox hit at 10:46 a.m., you know, creating a 50-50 balance between the sun and the moon, okay? In the third month on this day of the Trinity, you know, think about the Trinity, we stepped into a new 333 frequency of mind, body, and spirit. It's a 24/7 commitment. All right. It was like a door opening for new growth. We moved from the shadow of 2025 and into the balanced light of 2026. Even though I go by the name Shadow Girl Sherry, I do understand the light and that there needs to be a balance. Okay. If you happen to see any angel numbers yesterday, I'm going to kind of say, remind you that basically, if you saw any angel numbers yesterday, it was a bit of a sign or a signal, in the darkness that the sun was rising. Okay. Your manifestation, guys, they're on their way. So we're hanging in here. Okay. Guys, I'm not going to be able to stay on much longer, just because of the fact that my phone is kind of is working its way down now. but I'm going to read a little bit more because nobody in my household has like said anything about, oh, hurry up and finish. Hasn't happened yet. I know it's going to happen soon though, because it's 10:53 at night right now. Um, and you know, some people in my house are in bed and then others, still awake, and I'm one of them. Okay. But all together, got to have, um, you know, respect for everybody in the house. And, you know, it's nice to go to bed anyway, and, you know, go to bed and, say your affirmations. And again, I tell you guys, I really do find prayer and saying affirmations very relaxing. It's calming. Okay. It's calming. Okay. All right. Okay. So here's a little bit of alignment. The R&B, you know, with this song. Okay. So, um, Dean Esposito released 20, Dean will go, he went by the stage name Dino. He released this song 24/7 in 1989. It hit number 12 on the Billboard R&B chart. Okay. Now, making a little bit of a connection here. The Billboard 12. Again, I'm going to say it. Just making a little bit of a connection here. When Dino released 24/7 in 1989, it hit number 12 on the Billboard R&B chart. The connection. Remember, okay, there were 12 hours of light and 12 hours of shadow yesterday. Okay, this song, you know, there's a representation. There's a little bit of a connection. Okay. A little bit of a peak there. A balance. Okay. All right. Okay, the Billboard 200, the album itself peaked at number 34. On the Billboard 200, the album itself peaked at number 34. Okay, I'm sorry. The Billboard 2000, I'm sorry, the Billboard 200. I'm sorry. The Billboard 200, the album itself peaked at number 34. Okay, the 3/4 energy, 3 plus 4 equals 7. Okay, and I'm doing this video, and the song is called 24/7. Okay, making these little connections here. The 3 and the 1 synchronicities. Okay, the Hot 100. The song peaked at number 42. 4 plus 2 equals 6. All right. Thinking about that 333 and 1111 connection. 6 is the double of 3, representing the union. Those 12-hour halves, 6 plus 6, coming together to make the whole day. Okay, so he had another song called "I Like It." Okay. Okay, so he had another song called "I Like It." Okay, his next hit, "I Like It," peaked at number 7. Again, that number 7 follows us, guys. I'm just making a little bit of a connection here. 24/7 isn't just a title; it's the vibration of our vibe right now. I'm just spreading this information with you, and you know, just making a little bit of a connection. So at History and Mystery, okay, at 10:46 a.m. yesterday, the world hit a 12-12 balance. Okay. In 1989, this song 24/7 was released. It hit number 12 on the charts, just like the 12 hours of light and 12 hours of shadow we had yesterday. Okay, just making these little connections. It's round and round the clock. Okay, whether it's the number 7 peak of his next hit or the number 12 of the title track, the universe is telling us that the work is 24/7. Okay, we're on a constant cycle. Okay, and just the spring is this song had a little bit of like a new jack, a new jack swing kind of energy. All right. And I just wanted to kind of bring it forward into this 2026 Spring Awakening. Guys, I really love this song. I hope that you'll take a listen to it again. The video's dated, the hairstyles are dated, the clothes are dated, and everything. And the video, if you look at it, it looks so like it's dated, really. But it's just a beautiful song to me. It makes me think of spring. I hope you guys, if you go and take a listen to it, I hope that you like the song. I hope you'll leave it and come back on this video, like on the live. This live will be featured on my YouTube channel, Sunset Songs, in its entirety. And you can let me know what you think of the song, whether you like it or not, whatever. Just let me know, because it's just trying to have fun with music. I love music, guys, and I like to think that maybe I could give you some songs to add to your playlist, give my viewers songs to add to their playlist. You know, whether you're cleaning, you're living life, you're going back home to be with your significant other, and, you know, do whatever you do, right? All right. And with Shadow Girl Sherry is all about some balance, and, you know, all about some balance. All right. Okay, the masculine, the call, the sun's rise. Okay. At 10:46 a.m., the sun reached that 0 point and started its climb into the northern hemisphere. This is the active force. It was the active force. It's the hey, it's time to move energy. It's the spark, the fire, and the initial push from south to north. It is the sunrise of the entire year. Okay. The feminine response, nature receiving. This is the magnetic force. Nature, the earth, the feminine, doesn't just sit there. She feels the sun crossing that celestial line and begins to receive that warmth. Okay. It's that feeling of nature rising up to meet the light. The seeds in the dark soil felt the vibration of that 10:46 a.m. shift, and they began to open. The womb action. The womb action. The womb makes me think of room. The womb action. The feminine energy takes the call of the masculine and turns it into life, which is leaves, flowers, and growth. I'm going to read that again. The womb, action. The womb was action. The womb, the action of the womb, okay? The feminine energy takes the call of the masculine and turns it into life, which is leaves, flowers, growth. That green energy coming back to life, okay? At 10:46 a.m. Yesterday, the masculine sun sent out the call as it crossed into our hemisphere. But the real magic is how the feminine earth received it. Nature doesn't just watch the sun rise, she feels it in her roots and rises up to meet it. It's a 24/7 conversation. The feminine receives the heat and turns it into the green we see everywhere. I'm going to read that again. Nature doesn't just watch the sun rise. She feels it in her roots and rises up to meet it. It's a 24/7 conversation. The feminine receives the heat and turns it into the green we see everywhere. Okay? Round and round the clock, the sun gives and the earth creates. Giving and receiving. Feminine and masculine, giving and receiving, is the secret to your success. Giving and receiving, feminine and masculine, giving and receiving. It's the secret to success. You have to be the masculine, the one, you have to take some action, all right? A little bit here and there, here and there. Think about it, 24/7, you don't have to be active all the time, but you get what I'm saying. It's a cycle. Okay. You got to put in a little work. Okay, and then there's that feminine aspect to it. The feminine, the feminine is the energy that opens to the receiving the results. Okay? Giving and receiving, a balance. It's a dance. And I think this is just a beautiful love song to dance to. It's a beautiful song. Beautiful, beautiful song. At least I think it is anyway. Again, very dated. The look, the clothes, the hair, the dance, the movements and everything. But at the same time, the idea, the message is the song. And my channel, Sunset Songs, it's all about the song that plays in your heart. And I gotta admit, this is one song that plays in my heart. It's beautiful. Okay. Here in the AI summary, it says that I'm discussing the 24/7 song by Dean Lewis. It's not by Dean Lewis. The song is by Dean Esposito, but he went by the name Dino. And the song is called 24/7. So the song is called 24/7, and he went by the name, he had that stage name of Dino, but his real name is Dean Esposito. The song is called 24/7 by Dino. Okay. So all this just has a, I'm just telling you guys about the giving and the receiving, telling you about nature, how things naturally, nature, the alchemy of creation, this primal frame of it all, very, very primal. When the masculine sun and the feminine earth hit that 10:46 a.m. 0 point, it wasn't just a quiet meeting, it was a fertile union. So basically, the earth gave birth, and it's about birth, but really it was about conception. The earth conceives this year, conceives, conception. Okay. The great marriage, the union, the rise, the masculine sun rises to the occasion. The great marriage, the union, the rise, the masculine sun rises to the occasion, crossing the equator to penetrate the northern hemisphere with heat and light. I'll say that again. The rise, the masculine sun rises to the occasion, crossing the equator to penetrate the northern hemisphere with heat and light. The reception, the feminine earth, the shadow doesn't just sit there. Let me read that again because I got tongue-tied. The reception, the feminine earth, the shadow doesn't just sit there. She opens up. She receives that solar fire into her dark, cool soil. The birth. This union is what births the manifestation. It's the literal labor of the equinox. The birth. I'll read it again. The birth. This union is what births the manifestation. It's the literal labor of the equinox. Okay, guys, this made me think a little bit about like a fungal kind of magic. Okay. And it made me think about mushrooms, and I have mushrooms in, if you look at it real closely, there are mushrooms on the masculine side. That's the sun. When you look at this visual here, there's the woman, the female, okay, which is, she's standing in for myself, Shadow Girl Sherry, because it says this is Shadow Girl Sherry. There is on the left side, there's that feminine aspect. That clock, that round clock, stands for the moon. Like the moon's round, the sun's round. The clock on the left stands for the moon. Okay, and it's set to the same time as the masculine sun that's on the right. but they both, there is a round moon and a round sun, but they are both set to matching time because that's when they met up. They came together. They meet just like a man and a woman would meet. They decide, okay, we will meet up at this such and such a time. Okay. So you meet up at the same time, get together, do what you do. But on the masculine side, where there's the sun, the light, and everything, if you look closely, there are mushrooms. Okay, now mushrooms have like a phallic kind of look to them, phallic, like male look to them. Okay, and then on the right side, or I'm sorry, not the left side, you have that feminine moon, and that made me think of like a beautiful rose, like opening up, beautiful rose opening up. Okay, flowers. Okay, but I just want to talk a little bit about like fungal magic. Okay, think about mushrooms. Okay, because I told you about the male. When you look, I'm telling you, if you look at a mushroom, really look at it, different ones more will look more phallic than other ones. I mean, really, guys, look at them. You might think it's gross. I have to do a video on it when I see mushrooms come up. Like really, it really looks like a phallic kind of symbol, a male. Even has like a little, uh, guys, I'm sorry, even it's like a little hole, some of them have like a little hole, like an opening. Really, a mushroom. Okay. So anyhow, here we go. I'm say a little bit, what the energy of a mushroom. Okay. The hidden network. The hidden network. Mushrooms are the perfect kind of like shadowy symbol. Okay. They live in the dark, damp, feminine womb of the earth. Okay. When the sun hits, okay, like it hit yesterday at 10:46 a.m. yesterday, and I gotta spell it out, the mycelium, I'll spell it out just in case I'm saying it wrong. MYCELIUM, which is the underground network, okay, feels the vibration. And that's a song by Marky Mark. He says feel the vibration in the song, good vibration. And I'm talking about good vibrations being on a certain frequency, right? Saying those good vibrations. But that was another song that I believe it was maybe the early 90s. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. That's what he went by then. It was Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. But that's Mark Wahlberg, okay? And Mark Wahlberg is still holding it down, boy. Still holding it down, okay? So, and I think Mark Wahlberg, he I believe he has said that he gets up at like before 5, or he gets up at like 5 a.m. And right now, guys, it's 11:11. So I kind of want you to think about something that you're trying to manifest, because 11:11, it's an angel number and it's a gateway. It kind of looks like a gateway, like one door leading into another, two pillars standing side by side. You could even think about walking through a hall, like walking from one door, like this door's closing and then another one's opening. So you're walking from a hall, you close one door, you're walking through another. So either way you want to look at it, or you can look at it as like two pillars standing next to each other, and you're at a gateway and you're walking through. So if you're walking through this gateway, what gift is on the other side of waiting for you right at the threshold? That's what I want you to think about when you think about a manifestation, and feel it in your heart as if it's already yours. Like, how would you feel if you had this perfect love? Like, the song that I'm talking about as the sunset song is called 24/7. The song came out in 1989, and the song was by Dino. He went by Dino, but the stage name was Dino. His real name was Dean Esposito, and I always like that name, Dean. I like that name, Dean. Um, to me, that's a masculine name. Like, I like that name, Dean. But anyhow, um, how would you feel if you found this perfect love, okay, and you've got them 24/7? Maybe you don't want to be around them 24/7, but what if they're telling you that they love you? I love you 24/7. Like, you're always on my mind and I love you. You found this person and you love this person in the same way, and you found them. Like, how would you feel? The idea is to feel it as it's like it's already yours. Like, it's because that's the universe wants to give it to you. It's already yours. You just have to be in the frequency, in the alignment. You have to be aligned with it in order to receive it. Okay. and that feminine receiving, you know what I mean? So the masculine, they're a little work, but receiving, right? It's always nice to receive, right? And the universe wants to deliver. The universe wants to deliver. Okay. So just think about that. Okay. So, guys, I'm not going to be able to stay on much longer. I think that I'm going to stop right there. And it's going to be kind of weird to come back and start talking about how mushrooms look have like they're like a phallic symbol. But this was all about the energy of the masculine energy rising to the occasion. And what went down yesterday for the spring equinox. The sun rose to the occasion, and the feminine moon, they were in perfect harmony, a balance. You can look at it a union, kind of like a sexual kind of energy, fertility. Think about fertility, because think about what the earth is doing right now, is birthing stuff. Like, it's coming back to life. There's the soil is fertile. It's fertile grounds right now, and that's earth energy. It's feminine energy. Think about delivery, and just how beautiful the earth is right now. The green grass, the flowers are closed. I'm loving the flowers that I have in my yard. And just right now, like, they're closed, and some of them are open, but got a lot of closed kind of energy. But they're blooming. They're going to be blooming. You're going to get that fragrance, that sweet, like, feminine fragrance coming from the flowers. That flirty, feminine, scent floating through the air, like flirting with your nose. Okay. And of course, men, you love the scent of a woman, like flowers and all that. And I can't help it that right now I'm thinking about that feminine wash as summer's eve. Like, it smells so good. It really does. Total feminine smell. Summer's eve. We're not there because it's not summer, but I guess it is kind of like an eve to summer, spring, summer's eve. But this is just a beautiful time right now. I love spring. I love spring. But of course, guys, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I like summer. Obviously, but I like fall too. I like fall. I think there's something about every season, but winter's just, I'm not too big on winter. I love to look out and look at the snow, but I don't like the cold that comes with the snow. If snow were actually warm, I'd be all for snow. Like, let's go play in the snow, but then it would melt, so you wouldn't have snow. So you get what I'm saying. But it's beautiful to look at. And it's nice to, especially when you see that first snowfall, right? But I'm glad it's over with. I really am. I'm so glad it's over with for now. I'm so ready for spring. Um, I'm so ready for spring. But guys, my phone is at 5% right now. So I'm going to have to come back, and I'm going to remember where I'm going to start at. And it makes sense, guys, that I'm going to come back and start at that energy of the masculine, because it's all about that masculine energy yesterday that rose. It rose, it rose to the occasion, and it put everything into like a balance. It got it started, and the moon responded. Everything came in harmony. There's that union. But it does make sense that I should end this live now. And when I come back, it might seem a little bit weird, but I'm going to be talking about the phallic kind of a phallic symbol, and it's the mushroom. Okay. So I'm talking about like a male kind of energy, but the thing about a mushroom, it comes from decaying like matter. So there's death. There's that energy of death. But with the death, there's life, because you don't even know that that's hidden under there. But then it comes forward. It rises, and then you see it. But you thought there was death there. Obviously, truthfully, you didn't even know it was there. But from that death, something grew, right? Transformation. Okay. But it makes sense that it might seem a little bit weird when I start the live out tomorrow, but I'll just start talking about something else. But at the same time, I'll open it with I'll find some kind of synchronicity or something that's probably going to happen by the time I go live again. It'll probably be either today, or I'm sorry, tomorrow, which is going to be in about what, like 40 minutes or so, because it's 11:18 right now. So I could do that tomorrow. If I'm not up to it, then I'll maybe talk about it Monday, Tuesday, something like that. But the idea is we just began spring anyway, guys. So I'll be able to come back and deliver the message, right? Think about it, labor and delivery. There's labor, there's working, getting that way, labor and delivery. And, women have to go through labor to deliver. Okay. So I'm going to be coming back to deliver the message, right? Because I put so much labor, I put so much work into coming up with the ideas for the video. So I've got to deliver it though. But think about the woman pregnant, right? And I got to come back and I got to deliver the message. So I'm going to be starting from that mushroom energy, which is a phallic symbol. So it might seem a little bit weird at first, but I'm going to find there's going to be some kind of synchronicity that's going to bring it all together, and I'll bring it back to you guys and get it started. But that's where I'm going to be. That's going to be the opening. And here we go, the opening delivery. That's going to be the opening. That's going to be the opening. I'm going to be coming and delivering the idea of the mushroom. Okay. And that's going to be my next video. And I'll talk about the song. Maybe I'll have a little bit more information about the song, but I've got a lot more notes, but I'm going to start from there. But hopefully I'll have more notes about the song. But guys, this is Shadow Girl Sherry. My phone is at 2%, so I got to be closing this down. Guys, I've had so much fun explaining this. My phone's now at 1, so let me try to, oh goodness gracious, guys. Let me